You realize this is the most reckless thing you've ever done, right? Reckless? But maybe the most meaningful, too. Sam stared at her long enough for heat to flood her cheeks, as if he could see right inside of her. See everything. The fact that he didn't turn away from whatever he saw made her blood thrum in her veins. I suppose if we're gonna die, it should be for a noble cause. Hello, hello! Welcome back to Twin Flames Between Worlds podcast. My name is Tabitha.
And I'm Liesl.
Hi, welcome back to season 6, guys!
Woo! We're finally starting season 6.
Dear God, thank you for all your patience. Thank you for... It took us a bit to get here. It took a move. It took some career shifts, career changes. It took a lot of sickness and health.
Literally.
I was sick after every fucking turn.
Mm-hmm. And when she wasn't sick, I was sick.
So we are finally back, you guys. Thank you so much. So I hope we have a good time with this. We're going to go into the Assassin's Blade.
And before we go into it, do you want to say something about why we're starting with the Assassin's Blade?
Yes, before everyone gets their bows and arrows out. This is how I read it, and this is how I think it should be enjoyed by a first-time reader. I think
this is how I was forced to read it.
And you know what? I will say for some people in the audience, I really do think on a reread, putting the Assassin's Blade where Sarah J. Maas actually says put it between Crown of Midnight and Heir of Fire is a good call. I just personally think that you get more insight into Celaena's character through this. It kind of throws you in, but also it's not too hard where you can't figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm. It's like starting any new book series where you kind of don't really know what's going on at first.
And this was the first time I thought, or how do I say this? I didn't have a prequel vibe to it where it was annoying. I know there's a lot of books where people write prequels later and it just feels kind of forced, but this is the first time I never felt like that. Mm-hmm. And I just really enjoy it being this way. So please honor, respect our decision, my decision.
Your decision. I mean, to be fair, even if I was forced to read it this way, I definitely can see where she's coming from, like, and why she had me read it this way, just because it does give a lot of extra info that once you get into Throne of Glass, which is supposedly the first book, there's a lot of references that you'll be able to understand because you read Assassin's Blade first.
Yes, you get insight into her character before, like, the first book happens, and I think it makes her character seem more likable, because a lot of people read through it, and we'll mention this a lot in this episode, where people find her very annoying, and I feel like, people felt that with Feyre as well. So, there's always going to be a flaw with Sarah's main characters, but I do appreciate that. And I think it gives more insight.
That makes it more interesting.
Correctly.
Definitely more interesting.
So before we go into our episode today, I will say we have a promotion sponsor for today's video. It is Tona Activewear. So Tona was founded by one of Lululemon's original designers and is a premium line of leggings designed for women who train hard. They're moisture-wicking and perfectly fit. Customers say it's like a push-up bra for the butt.
Nice.
and the last black leggings you'll ever need. So
can't go wrong with a pair of black leggings.
No, you can't. And what was good about this one, which we'll mention later in the video, is I would never also get with a sponsorship promotion that didn't have our sizes. So they do have sizes for plus size people.
Yeah.
Because why the hell would we sponsor something that doesn't have our size? Because believe it or not,
not equality.
Believe it or not, there's still companies out there who don't make our size. So it's like,
They're lost.
Yeah, I mean,
as plus size women, we rock that shit.
Yeah, because our size chafes. Dear God, wearing jeans is sometimes so annoying.
Thick thighs save lives.
So yes, of course, we'll put this all in the description. We have a 16% off of any product on their website with our code TFBW Twin Flames Between Worlds podcast in the description. So we will talk more about that later in the video. But without further ado, let's get into the Assassin's Blade. The first book, there are 5 novellas in this book, and we will be going through each one of them in each episode. This one is called The Assassin and the Pirate Lord.
Mm-hmm. And for this special episode, I have my pirate shirt on.
Yes, Monkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy with the quote at the bottom, I'm gonna be the king of pirates.
We had to, just because at least I'm a One Piece girly now. That was, honestly, this was my idea. She didn't even think of it. I was like, okay, we have to say this as the quote. quote.
I know, like I'm honestly so proud of her for coming up with that, because we were like trying to come up with the title, and it's just like, well, what could we do for this one? It's like, well, actually.
Yeah. Because there is a lot thrown at us in this first episode. Again, like it is kind of throwing us into her world. So we will be like explaining some things, especially for folks who haven't listened to this kind of stuff yet. But before we do, I have to say, content warning, we are explicit. I don't want to forget about that.
I think I've already cursed.
Because we talk about sex, even though there's not really sex in these books. There is, but there isn't. We'll talk about that. This is a true YA in a sense. So yeah, please be wary of little listening ears. We also will say a lot of innuendo. Even if there's no sex, it will be in innuendo land.
I mean, we're also we always turn it that way, even if there isn't actually any written.
Oh yeah, because there's chemistry up the wazoo, like for sure. So let's get right into it. So we are in Aurelia, where our new story takes place. We are in a place called the Assassin's Keep in Otterland, in Rifthold, specifically the capital of which we figure out is this empire, because we are, unlike ACOTAR, which we will reference because that was our first 5 seasons. Unlike ACOTAR, we are starting in war. We are starting in this world, are being tormented by the Otterland Empire, quote unquote, which will be brought up a lot more later in this book specifically. But all we know is that Otterland now runs things, and everyone's kind of either have to work with them and or find ways to be around them. And we do get a lot of political warfare right out the gate, which I personally love. I don't like this as a starting in war, but it's a very different thing than getting into war.
That's true.
Because like we don't know any peace in this world.
It's like we don't know how the war started. We don't know like who attacked first, whatever. We don't know any of that yet.
We don't know anything. So I will say, because we don't have, as I started listening to this, there is no graphic audio yet for this series. There will be. So for the audiobook listeners, it is the illustrious Elizabeth Evans, who I will say just at the top, since we don't have an audiobook section, is amazing. She is Sarah J. Maas's go-to narrator for all of her book series, and you can get
Which
them.
is an honor for her, I bet.
Oh yeah, she's read all of her series. That's fucking amazing. So yes, we begin in the Assassin's Keep with our main protagonist, Selena Sardothian.
What a name.
Badass. I'm already
Selena
intrigued.
Sardothian.
It is 4 a.m. and she is in a nightie in front of a bunch of men.
A silk nightie, though, so she's a distinguished lady.
She's high class, remember?
Very high class.
I just still remember how I love how this started. She's just like, I feel like she has her feet up. She's casually like sitting at this table. It's 4 a.m. and she's surrounded by a bunch of old men. It's already starting.
The only thing she's concerned about is like, she's at least concerned about her neckline.
Right. She's like, why are we here? All we get so far is we get Arabin Hamel, which is apparently the leader of the Assassins Guild and who they call the King of Assassins, who we find out in this chapter that he's Selena's mentor. She's his protege, someone who is going to take up the mantle of, I guess she'd be the Queen of Assassins when he dies, which is a high honor, specifically being that she is a woman in a room full of men. Which a bunch
of old men.
Which we love that, not gonna lie. Selena is 16 as we start our story, which is very young. But again, as we know in these fantasy worlds, like 16 is like early enough to marry, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, you gotta start them young.
Which is questionable, but whatever.
You gotta start them young, you know?
I like how right at the top, she calls her beauty a weapon and her vulnerability in like one swoop.
I appreciate that, considering that it really can be both. I mean, because many people use their looks to draw attention, but then at the same time, you know, your looks can draw attention, and sometimes it's not the good kind or the kind that you want.
She becomes a target, but also because she is a blonde woman. Now, again, in a fantasy world, I don't know if they still have the stereotype that they have on blondes in our world, but she's not going to be seen, if people know that she is a blonde 16-year-old, they're not going to take her seriously.
No.
Which, again, can actually be used to your advantage if you know how to kill people, which it seems like she does.
Which is just a wild thing, just like, well, I know how to kill people, so it's fine.
It's like, all right. So apparently
cool.
this is kind of like a meeting for the inner circle of assassins in this realm. All we get is Grigori has been caught in the royal dungeons. Who's the fuck's Grigori? I don't think we really care about him. him. He's just kind of a no-name assassin. But I think the important thing to know about this, even though this is kind of a no-name character, is the fact that if you get into the Assassin's Guild, you must be at least some sort of quality to get into this guild.
Yeah.
And the fact if someone is caught, especially from how they're talking, it seems like because, this is so hush-hush, secret, if you get caught, this is a death sentence.
Yeah, that's basically what it sounds like for any sort of mafia story as well, or just even crime shows about mafia. Is like, if you are in the mafia and you get caught, first of all, you're a failure because how dare you get caught? Secondly, kill them before they can spill all our secrets and be turned by the government and all that shit.
It seems like how they're talking about the royal dungeons, even though we don't know, again, this is Otterland, this is the Empire's royal dungeons. It seems like in it itself, that is a death sentence. But again, these people are assassins who, it doesn't seem like they're friends of the Empire, if that makes sense. They might have contracts with them or whatnot, but they're actively looking for these people. So they know where the guild is. They could be tortured into getting that information out of them. So it's not good. Selena's like, kill him.
It's never good for you to hear that the royal palace, basically, the royal dungeons, are the ones that you need to be scared of. Typically you think of city dungeons and stuff. It's like, oh, well, a lot of unruly people in there, you could get killed. But, royal dungeons being the death sentence, that's a concern. I guess it makes sense, though, in the way that of what we're hearing of Otterland being the Empire and, conquering and stuff like that.
No, for sure. And it's like, well, Selena, it's like, this seems like it's something that happened. I mean, maybe it doesn't happen every day, but not meeting worthy. She's like, kill him. Why are we here? And another character is mentioned. His name is Sam Cortland. And the position matters because he is standing where this person named Ben, which is apparently Arabin's second in command, is standing. Selena seems to be very attached to this person. She's like, why is he in
the Sam guy?
Yes, no, she hates this guy. Why is she standing in his place, basically? And where is he, is her question.
Yeah.
It's like, he should be
This
here.
is a meeting of all these top people. Why isn't Ben here?
Right. And something they mention is that the Assassin's Keep is hidden in plain sight. It's literally just on a street in the middle of Rifthold. But they don't know, nobody would know that there's just a bunch of assassins living in this house.
I mean, I read a Mafia fan fiction years ago. Of course I did. It was BTS. Of course I did. But basically where BTS was a mafia group and they lived in a manor. I mean, of course, then they had this whole intricate underground thing that they called the Den, which was they even had cellars and dungeon and then their actual base way underneath. But it technically the entrance was into one of these nice manors. So I guess that's common.
Yeah, and you know what's very interesting about this is that it kind of sets the world up in a very kill or be killed way. She's 16 and she's talking about this poisonous food. And then Sam's like, well, what if he told? She's like, well, then kill everyone who heard. Why? She's talking, and again, they're assassins, but she's talking about death so easily. And it's just, it kind of hammers in home this metaphor of how cutthroat this world is.
But the fact that she's 16 and already has this mindset.
Right. It's like, Sam doesn't really seem too happy that they're just talking about killing him with such ease, which is very interesting for someone who's an assassin. Kind of already shows that he's standing outside of pack a little bit.
A little bit of an outsider.
So we do get a little bit about Sam, is that they both grew up together. She's 16, he's 17, so he's, a year older.
Scandalous.
This is
That's
very
whole,
much
Sound of Music.
I'm telling you right now, as soon as I heard he was 17 compared to all these other old men, I was like, it's him and her. I can just tell. I'm not confirming or denying that. I'm just saying.
It's him and her against the world.
And I was like, we were all 16 at some point. The idea of a 17-year-old was kind of hot, even though it was a year. I can understand what she's talking about.
It's a Sound of Music sort of thing. 16 going on 17, 17 going on
God,
18.
That's terrible. So apparently Sam's mother was a courtesan, which is, I guess
a sex worker.
So they call them courtesans instead of prostitutes. He could have went in her footsteps, but apparently she gave him to the Assassin's Guild to, learn how to kill people instead of fuck people.
It almost sounds like it was in a will or something, because it mentions that Sam's mother died and made sure that he got sent to the Assassin's Keep. So it almost sounds like a will of, if I die, take my son to be an assassin.
Yes, because she is dead, in fact dead.
Sad.
So Selena seems to know Arabin very well, which makes sense considering their relationship, it seems, with each other. And she knows something is wrong. Ben was killed.
Great. That's why he's not here.
We don't know this man. It's not like we necessarily have an attachment to him, but
we can feel the attachment.
Yes. It seems, and the fact that she says inner circle here, I'm like, okay, Sarah. It's like crossover. Like it's just, what the hell? Crossover in words even. So Ben apparently raised her and was very kind with her, very much like a dad figure. Already I can tell Selena seems like an orphan. Again, even though aren't parents mentioned, why would she be in an Assassin's Guild if like she did have parents?
Unless her parents were also in the Assassin's Guild, but we're not getting any clues about that.
Yes. And I kind of like how mysterious she is. I like how there's more to learn about it. So apparently Grigori was going on a mission and Ben went and got involved, but it seems like someone betrayed them and their bodies were left near like the city gate, which is kind of rough because Arabin then sent Sam on the recovery mission for Ben's body instead of her.
Which doesn't seem like Selena's very happy about that.
No, she is not happy about that. And she's upset at Sam that they did not actually retrieve his body. And it's like, Sam gave a very reasonable explanation for not doing it because the place was like crawling with guards. But then
she just gets like all arrogant. Selena just gets all arrogant about it though, because she's like, well, basically I could have gotten it. You're failing as an assassin if you couldn't do that. Assassins are supposed to be sneaky.
Yeah, you're like,
along those lines.
You're supposed to be able to get a body in and out and,
It's Leviosa. Sorry, that's just the way.
No. It's she goes from very calm to very mad real quick. And it's very scary because Arabin seems very scary when confronting Sam about trying to pick a fight with her. Tonight was not the night to pick a fight with her. Like because
Arabin seems more worried that Sam is picking a fight with her rather than Ben being dead and Grigori being caught.
Yeah, it's more like Sam says, You're not the king of assassins yet. You're not in charge.
Yeah. Or like the guild, like you're not running the guild yet.
Yeah. Selena as a character seems very cocky. She talks about Sam as like, he's always second best. She's always been the best. That's why she's been named basically the heir apparent. Which is like, I can see how somebody could find her arrogance a little bit upsetting because she's like, I'm hot and I kill people. But it's like, I feel like I can tell real quick that ain't gonna last long.
I'm hot and I kill people.
So basically she says, fuck you guys, I'm going to retrieve Ben's body myself. It was the line though at the end that got me, but because she was like, but don't expect me to extend the same courtesy to the rest of you when your time comes.
Huh. Yeah, she is. Yeah, cocky. She's cocky.
In a way, I could understand why her character needs that to happen because she, again, is a young woman around other people. And
specifically like a young woman around a bunch of old men.
Right. She kind of has to be that way in order to make herself actually, seen.
It's almost like wearing a mask in a way. Like one of those, like, from what we read in this novella, it's definitely all about like masks and stuff. But it's almost like even when she's not wearing a physical mask, like she still needs to have this mask to be like, I'm one of you guys. And I'm better than you guys.
There are layers upon layers to her character, and I just am so intrigued. Especially when I read this the first time, I was like, I'm intrigued to know like what this background is. We know nothing about her. All we know is like what we are in the present, and that's something about these books that I really appreciate. Of course, I didn't mind that in ACOTAR when it was like we kind of got a big background to her, but we're just getting thrown right in. But it's not confusing.
No.
So as we continue, it is 2 months later.
Wow. Big time skip.
Yes, actually, it's 2 months, 3 days, and 8 hours.
Even more specific.
Hyper specific as fuck. That doesn't make any sense. But all right, sure. So we get that. Literally, it says Captain Rolfe, Lord of the Pirates. It is not Monkey D. Luffy, and he's not King of the Pirates. He's Lord of the Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirate Lord.
Can I tell you how funny it is that all these people are called like the Lord of something or the King of Assassins? It's like, you mean all the assassins in the world? Are you serious?
That's what they're trying to claim it anyway. It's like, well, if you're King of the Assassins.
It makes me think of One Piece. Like, it really does. It's like everyone's naming themselves himself as king of something. And it's like,
That's
no one
true.
can really claim that.
That's true.
It's like, all pirates, Ralph, are you kidding me?
Has every single pirate, like, obeyed you? Do you actually have control of everyone?
At least he calls himself a lord and not king, so that's cool.
That's true.
So
because if he were king, he might get challenged for his territory.
Right, and we might not know if he wins.
Yeah, we don't even know him yet.
So, to begin, before we get into this whole section is set in Skulls Bay. We mentioned this in our map section, but Skulls Bay is outside of Fenharrow. It's a little South Belhaven, the capital, and it's like, apparently it's 10 days from Rifthold, because they're at sea for 10 days, which is very interesting. It really shows you how slow, because on the map, like, it doesn't seem that long, but it really is.
And it's 10 days, like, total travel, right? Or is that just from Belhaven?
No, that's 10 days travel from Rifthold.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So yes, Selena is not alone. She had paired with Sam Cortland on this mission that we don't know about yet.
And neither of them were happy that they got paired up.
It almost seems like, I don't think this is their first mission together, but it definitely seems like what's different about this mission versus all the others.
And also because she was, had that I wanted to say last night. It wasn't last night. It was 2 months and 3 days and however many hours. But like, just because maybe they haven't had a mission since they had that kind of snap at each other.
Yeah. It's interesting that the assassins are often pairs, because normally they work alone, but sometimes I know if a mission warrants it, there'd be multiple people. But it's interesting because if Arabin runs the show, why did he send them together if he knows that they kind of butt heads a lot? So there's intention behind this that I don't really understand.
Right.
So we kind of get Selena in a different light than we saw her at the she was in a silk nightgown. Now she is in her wear that she wears for everyone else, for the world. She wears these kind of baggy... Yeah. She wears these baggy clothes, and she has an ebony mask on that also, I guess, hides her voice. She said that it makes her sound more gravelly. It's
Which I've heard of, like, actual masks like that like have... either because of the material they're made of or like extra padding that's over the mouth, it like actually can like in a way muffle but also filter your voice in such a way that it changes.
Interesting, because well, it's funny, she can't hide the fact that she's a woman, but I guess it makes her seem like she's older.
Which I can understand, because like we were saying, a 16-year-old, if they were to find that out, they wouldn't treat her as seriously.
Which is funny, because that's how she's known to everyone else, is that, like, this is what she has to wear outside so that she also doesn't want to reveal her identity, because she says, as an assassin, I think there's more to it, but she could sneak in she said, kill foreign dignitaries and everything. Like, she could disguise herself as anything if nobody knows what she looks like.
Right.
Which, I mean, is smart. I think that's pretty smart. So Ralph is late, apparently, and they're just sitting in his office, like, and she's monologuing
and they
to
were
herself.
Late too.
Yeah. So the reason they're here is because 3 assassins have been murdered by pirate hands, and basically, Ralph needs to pay in gold for the deaths of the Assassins Guild. So, like, she's kind of also called Arabin's personal dagger, in terms of they gotta pay for the lost investment. I hate how it kind of sounds like servitude, but that's kind of how it's being portrayed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with the way that Arabin seems to run things, but we'll get into that.
Right. It's funny that Sam seems like the level-headed one in this relationship. It doesn't seem it seems very accurate. I love the fact how she said she knew Sam was the watchdog that Arabin sent for her.
Yeah.
To make sure this didn't go wrong.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like, I've seen their kind of pairings before in different writings of, like, she's moving around in the office and she's like looking at all of Ralph's stuff, and then Sam is just like, sit the fuck down. Stop it.
Right.
It's like a goody two shoes and a rule breaker.
I like the dynamic. It's good cop, bad cop, for sure. So it's funny how when Selena talks about going on this mission, because she was kind of excited, she says it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see the Pirate Lord, but also even go to this Skulls Bay. I mean, it doesn't sound like a resort destination in any sort, but it's kind of more like, oh, I can say that I've been there.
Yeah.
very adventure-esque, giving One Piece vibes of like going to every island, you know what I mean?
I definitely have an image of it. Like, I mean, I've seen like fan arts of what Skulls Bay looks like, but in terms of reference to One Piece, which you're probably going to hear quite a bit of One Piece references in this episode, just to be fair. It's already started.
Just in this episode, yeah.
Just in this episode, because, you know, it's talking about pirates. But I definitely have this image of a place in One Piece that reminds me so much of Skulls Bay.
Have I seen it yet?
No.
Damn it.
No.
Because
You don't see it for probably until at least the 800s.
Oh my fucking god.
But you'll know it when you do see it.
I don't even think I'm at 200.
No, not quite.
So the pirate lord, I guess, resides in a tavern, and she is less than impressed. It seems like Selena is also not only cocky, but she's very, like...
Vain,
privileged. I don't want to say privileged necessarily, but I will say probably privileged to riches.
Yeah.
Riches is kind of what she knows.
You know, she has all these, like, fancy wardrobes, apparently, and obviously silk night clothes and all that sort of stuff. And she's complaining about how terrible travel was.
Right.
Kind of a little prissy, in a way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Here's the thing. Even though I think Selena's a badass because we always love, like, a bad bitch character, I will never not lie and say that, like, that's an annoying factor about her. But again, as an origin story goes, I feel like anytime it's an origin story, it's a fall from grace. And I could feel that even when I read this book for the first time and I didn't even know what was about to happen. You know?
I always have this gut feeling where it's like, well, if this person is this annoying, either they're gonna forever be that annoying or that's for a reason that we don't know about yet.
They're gonna get humbled in some big way by life, you know? But we also have to remember she's 16. So, like...
That's true. She's a teenager.
Yes. I do appreciate, though, how she said, heads turned to the side of her, the billowing black cape, the exquisite clothing, and the mask transformed her into a whisper of darkness. A little intimidation never did any harm. That's funny. It's interesting that she brings that up, though, because it means that people know who she is, even without, like, because basically they call her Otterland's assassin, that's her nickname. Like, people know that the cape, the mask, that is what she is known for.
Which is, it sounds weird because it sounds like the Assassin's Guild versus Otterland, they don't seem to mesh that well, and yet somehow she's Otterland's assassin.
I don't know if it's because she resides in Otterland that it's just kind of stuck like that, but...
Or if she, like, somehow claims herself whenever she does her jobs. She's like, yeah, I'm this person.
Or they just coined that as the nickname for her and then it's stuck. Who knows? So this was like the most meme moment I think I had in this book was because she's snooping and she's touching everything. She's just snooping through Ralph's shit.
Valid.
And Sam's like, bro, don't touch anything. And she's just like, you gonna stop me?
And he just glares at her and she's like, that's what I thought.
Now, I did want to mention that she does take something off the table that we don't know. And here's the thing. I forgot to really mention this for the audience, but you would know. This is in third person. This whole narration is in third person, so...
I was just going to say it's in a limited third person, where it's from her perspective, but still written in the third person.
Yeah. So we don't get to know it. I like that. I'm not going to lie. In these types of books, I love that because, like, we don't get to know the answer right away. We get to keep guessing. And it's like, what did she pick up? I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you think she picked up?
At first, at first I didn't even notice. Like, my brain just completely skipped over that when we first read it. And then when I first read it. And then when you and I did our book talk on it, our first book talk, you asked me this exact question. And I'm like, she picked something up.
For real, yeah.
But then when I went back and read it again, because I guess I hadn't gotten to it, I don't know. But I'm like, oh, is it like a coin or something? She said there was like something, circular on the desk, and she slipped it into her pocket. So I thought it was like going to be a coin or something because they didn't have money or something.
No, like legit, I was thinking of the Pirates of the Caribbean coin, the one with the skull on it. I thought like maybe it was something from Legend or something we don't know about. And maybe she
knew about, or she just picked it up because she's like, ooh, shiny, I can get back at Ralph for being late with this.
Right, right. So, like, I didn't really know either. Again, it's not necessarily important, but I noticed it.
It's the little details.
Right, we gotta say it in a deep dive because, I mean, I noticed it this time.
And you never know, like, this little thing could be nothing, but it could also be something really huge later down the line.
Right. So she props herself in the Lord's chair, going through his ledger. Not really much is said besides the fact that there was a piece of purple perfume paper signed by a woman named Jacqueline, which I'm assuming is a love letter.
And she just opens it, starts reading it. She's like,
I wonder if that was the version of sexting in the
Yes.
letters back and forth to each other.
That's what they did before they actually had texts in real life, right?
Yes, I'm aware of that. I know it made it sound like, oh my God, could you imagine?
Us in our era. I mean, that's what my parents did when they were in college and they were dating. Like, they sent letters to each other over spring break.
I was just sexting by I do not want to know that.
I don't know if it was sexting, but they wrote letters to each other.
I just love how you were like, yeah, my parents did that. Like especially because like what we said was like sexting in the
Yeah.
Okay,
that's true. I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
I love how she mentions this because she does say that because again in the first scene, she didn't have a mask on. Like everyone in the Assassin's Guild knows what she looks like and they're sworn to secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
But the world knows her as Otterlin's assassin, like we mentioned. Apparently, Arabin has sworn everyone to secrecy, or they will be tortured to death.
Which makes me wonder why Arabin is so insistent that her identity remains a secret.
And I think at the top of this book, I was like, it's because she's a woman. It's because like she's the only woman who's like that. He wants to use her.
She's a young girl.
He wants to use her at every advantage that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And if having her without a mask, like, because I think also he's very narcissistic. I can already feel like I can tell that in terms of like, he doesn't want the Assassin's Guild to have a bad name with it having like a young person. Even if she's badass, there's still going to be doubts.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes his guild look good.
Or if anything, it's almost like the want for power of, haha, I know this and you don't.
Right. And the only thing people know about her is that she's female.
Yeah.
So
they don't even know she's young.
Yeah, they know she's a woman, but they don't know that she's young. So eventually, Ralph does come in. He is not very happy that, like, she's sitting in his chair. But she doesn't immediately get up. It's not like, oh my God, sorry. Like, she's literally still sits in it.
Which, again, that cockiness, but then also it made me think of, like, she just has this habit, apparently, of just putting her feet up on the table, the desk, whatever. That's like her posture. That's her favorite posturing.
Yeah, it's very... I think I described to Liesl that Selena is very much like a Rhysand figure in terms of, like, having many masks. Mm-hmm. And, like, he doing, like, the hands in the pocket is, like, Selena's version of putting feet up on the desk. Which is...
like putting on this arrogant mask that pisses people off.
Oh, for sure. So it's interesting. Ralph is like in his 20s, which is like not what I expected either. She said she thought he would be dirtier and more flamboyant, but he's very like lean, well dressed, and he's young. He's actually hot, I guess.
In a way, he's kind of got that rugged pirate sailor look.
I don't want the audience or the fans to like kill me. I wasn't like the biggest fan of Johnny Depp, not because I think he's ugly, but it's like he's not like the most sexiest man that I've like. Orlando Bloom took Pirates of the Caribbean the sexy like.
In terms of what I know of your type, absolutely Orlando Bloom for you. I think when I pictured Ralph at first, my first image that I thought of was Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed for Black Flag, which is basically the pirate version of Assassin's Creed, which basically he's blonde, kind of scruffy, young looking, kind of arrogant.
No, you're fine to get your reference. I just was like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, yeah. I know what game you're referencing, but I don't know the character. You'll have to send a picture in the Discord because I don't know like.
He's not your type necessarily, but that's what I think of. Well, actually, he does have some costumes and like outfits that make him more clean shaven. For your
Girl,
type, but
you were about to say cosplay, and I was gonna fucking shoot you.
No, I was not gonna say cosplay.
Yeah, he does good cosplay, and Tabi really likes that. Like,
no, he's not your type just because he's not always clean shaven.
That's true. That's so true. Oh my God.
See, I know you.
He does have seen green eyes, though, so that's a big plus in his favor for me. He has tattoo fingers that are like a map, which is kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie. We talk about that more in the further chapters coming up, but I was like, that she mentions that he has tattooed fingers. He does not like the fact that he can't see her face. Like, he's very ticked about that.
I can understand that. I want to see people's faces most of the time so I can see what their reactions were. That was like the whole thing with COVID, is like only seeing half of people's faces.
He's like, if I'm gonna have to deal with you, I feel like I want to know what you look like. But again, like, he doesn't, it's weird. Yeah. She's like, I don't need an introduction. And like, and as for the privilege of seeing my beautiful face, I'm afraid that's something few men receive.
He didn't like that either.
No, he didn't. Oh, you know what he reminds me of? Fucking Hook from Once Upon a Time. Dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's Ralph right there. That's my Ralph casting.
Your fan cast.
I mean, he was hot as fuck. He had blue eyes and dark hair. Like, I was hooked.
You're kryptonite. Wait, did you just say you were hooked?
I fucking hate myself. I wasn't even trying that. If you look back on the recording of this video, I literally like had the epiphany. I hate myself.
You can see the exact moment when she's like, I was hooked, and then she like her face just drops. She's like, wait a minute.
You
were hooked on Hook?
I really do I feel gross. I like icked myself out, I think. Oh my god. So then a stare down happens between them, and again, this whole time they're talking, she's still in the fucking chair.
He's just standing there.
She does not move until like she gives him the chair.
He's like standing there, he pours himself some brandy and is just like looking at her, maybe waiting to see if she will get up.
Right. He's like, why are you here? Why'd you come here? She's like, you know why we're here. He's like, I don't know. He's like, there was people, like 3 assassins found in Belhaven, like found dead.
Since you're the lord of the pirates, of course it would be your pirates that killed the assassins.
We keep wanting to say king, yeah.
This is the only king of pirates right here.
Yes, the only one. His brother's hotter. Sorry.
Literally, he's hotter.
All of Ralph's men apparently have a multicolored hand on their wrist as a tattoo. And so apparently from the reports, they were killed by people with those tattoos. Now, I will say something funny about this is like, I literally put in my note, damn, Ralph came with the receipts to make sure he was not blamed for this, because they literally go back and forth and the exchange goes, oh, I got a letter from the shipyard from Belhaven that said that in his records, this occurred at 3 a.m. on the docks. And so what? So there was no street lamps. So how would you know that there was
alibis check out?
And then Selena's like, but it was a full moon, so they wouldn't have needed street lamps.
It's like, but it was cold because it was in the spring. So unless my men were out there without coats.
And she's like, okay, shut the fuck up. Whatever. You still did it. She's like, look the fucking letter. This would have been so much better if she could curse. Selena would have been cursing a lot.
Absolutely.
If this was a loud curse.
Absolutely.
Though I will say, when Selena throws this document from Arabin onto his desk, she says, from our master. And he is very amused by that and kind of laughs at it. I kind of feel chills whenever I hear that. I know she's not saying that in like it just feels very gross. And so like,
master.
I was like, it sounds like enslavement. So
I'm
as
not
Ralph,
a fan of the master term.
Nope, not even in sex. I fucking hate that.
Definitely not in sex.
No.
And I write smut.
Icked for sure. So apparently they have 3 days to be here to make sure everything goes smoothly. Also, I do want to say that Selena seems very untested as well. It's like it's kind of like her hero flaw, even though she thinks that she's very good. She didn't even notice that Rolf pulled out a knife to like it was very she even mentions it in her in the third person where she's like, wow, that was a mistake.
She was literally bragging about, she's like, well, it's a smart thing that Ralph didn't bring any weapons in here because we could have turned them on him. And like she was bragging all about all that. And then, I mean, technically some people don't see a letter opener as a weapon, even though that is quite stabby.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's stabbier than a fork, for example. But I'm also just imagining Ralph having it in his sleeve and just like whipping it out like a hidden assassin dagger, just to open these letters with flair.
Oh my god. I was on the fact that you said whip it out. Well, you really have turned into me, haven't you?
Yes, we've already discussed this.
Really
I picked up on a lot of your tendencies.
I'm so sorry.
I was talking about a letter opener. You were talking about something else.
I was not talking about shit. So when Ralph reads the letter, he says, your master drives a hard bargain, but his terms are unfair. We're all sitting here scratching our heads. I was like, wait, Selena's caught off guard as we are because they're not here to retrieve retribution for the dead assassins. Arobin says that it's not his fault and that they're actually here for a slave trade.
Which, what the fuck? Throwing us right in. There's slaves in this world. I mean, of course there's slaves in this world, but
I appreciate that it says a business, like a Ralph at first says a business deal, and then it's like, oh, yep, slave and shipment. And then I'm like, holy fuck, this is about slaves?
Which, okay, I will say it was clever of Sarah, especially because they're like, well, the first shipment will be here, but he'll have to work hard for the second and third shipments. So that's making us think, okay, so there's a shipment of something. And then that's when he's like, well, the slaves will get here tomorrow. And it's like, wait, what? What are we talking about?
You know, it's weapons or some sort of armor or whatever.
Yeah.
Nope, this is about slaves.
Well, it seems like Arobin really wants to be a master.
Wow. So first of all, she does not agree with this at all, which as any, like, sane, good person would not agree with this. It seems also like this is the first time that Selena has been lied to directly by Arobin about a mission.
Right, and also kept in the dark of what the actual mission was.
Yeah, she seems like the one that's supposed to be told everything. And she also thinks that, like, Sam knew the truth and didn't tell her, which we do find out very quickly. He did not know about this either.
But with the way he was saying of, okay, well, when can we expect the shipments? Immediately answering with that, I can understand why she's like, oh, he definitely knew.
Right, and she also did the same thing. Like, they can't appear to look razzled or off guard about this. Because it seems like, and I'm going to say this as we go through, she kind of puts Arobin on a little bit of a pedestal, like a father figure. And so, which kind of makes sense. But she's very much like, well, Arobin would never do this. But also, it seems like he is to get to the top of the food chain of where he is, he's probably had to lie, steal, cheat, fuck, bribe, kill people, like whatever he needed to do to get to the top. So I do not think this man is not as trustful.
He sees it as profit.
Yes. Apparently, she gives us a timeline. Otterlin has been officially, quote unquote, taking slaves for the last 2 years from rebel kingdoms that are still trying to fight them. Apparently, they're mostly from Eelway. It seems like Eelway is the last baron of hope of their rebellion, like at least in terms of. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to like not explain too much. Again, kind of like a last bastion of hope. That's why most of the rebel forces are from them.
Yeah.
She does mention, which we did mention in our first map episode, not even episode, just video, was that they mostly get sent to Calaculla or Endovier. They are the salt mines that Alderlin set up to their slave camps.
More like assault mines.
Yes. The most notorious labor camps on the continent. And she cannot fathom or understand why Arobin would need slaves, why he would sully the Assassin's Guild name by having them. Like, doesn't seem like the slave trade is very looked up, or it's very looked down upon.
And Rolf is just talking about it like it's so easy, like they're not dealing with human lives. He's like, well, Arobin will have to work hard to make it work, but the profits are worth it in the end. It's like, okay, are you not talking about human slaves here?
That sounds like someone who's been doing it for way too long of time and has just made it seem like a business deal. I'm not giving him like the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying that it's someone who just like doesn't see it as anything but anymore. I do want to mention, because I don't want to like forget them. So they do bring up like these quote unquote mountain folk from the White Fang Mountains, which are in Otterlin, but they're close to a city called Aniel. And apparently they're also in rebellion. I guess they're also like just clan people who are also rebelling against the Empire. It's like those are the two main people that are in these slave groups.
Almost like indigenous peoples from the land.
Very much so.
Which the White Fang Mountains are just west of Oakwald.
That kind of sounds dope, though. I'm not gonna lie. These names kind of are like intriguing me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah's always had great names.
Right. So I'm loving this. So we're getting right into it, dude. So they need a place to sleep. And Ralph's like, I got 2 bedrooms for you. And she's like, no, we only need 1. She's like, okay, 1 bedroom, 2 beds.
We're not doing the 1 bed trope already.
It's like, oh, damn.
Although honestly, I do find it just funny that Rolf is just like, he just lifts a brow at her suggestively.
I wouldn't be surprised if she did say, oh yeah, just 1 bed, that's fine. And then in private, it's like make him sleep on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, as we kind of get into it, like they also stand watch, so only one is sleeping at a time anyway. But it would have still been pretty funny.
It was the funny fact that he's like, you both could use a bath, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And it's like, ew, him? The hot 17-year-old assassin dude that I've been growing up with. In a weird, fucked up way, they're like the friends next door, like, first love situation.
That, or, I mean, I hate to say it, but honestly, almost like step-siblings who just happen to grow up together and living together and that sort of thing.
Oh my god. I can't believe in this new season you're the first one to bring up some semi-incest.
At least I didn't say cousins, because that's another similar trope with that. They grew up together and they end up fucking or something.
At least step-sister is not directly related.
That's true.
Wait, is it? Isn't it?
No.
A step-sibling?
Half-sibling is what you're thinking, where it's half-related.
My god.
Step-sibling. Step-sibling is when it's like married in, so it's almost like a sister-in-law kind of thing, except so it's like when your parent marries another person who already has a child, and that child becomes your step-sibling.
Wow, everyone's gonna think I'm dumb as fuck. I really did. Like, I know.
You just had a moment of panic.
I did. You saw the panic in my eyes. I was like, wait. Anyway, so now we understand why, like, Selena said the one bedroom, because they like made sure it was secure so that no one can see or hear them looking in. So like they like barred the windows, put curtains up, like bedding stuff up in the windows so no one could see what she looked like, so she could take her mask off and like actually just,
and no one could hear her and hear like her voice the way it is rather than changed by the mask.
Yeah, or hear their conversations, all that. Now that's secure, kill Sam for knowing everything but her.
I love that he's the first one to say anything. Like, of course, like she takes her mask off and like looks at him, but he's the first one to say, like, put his hands up and be like, for the record, before you kill me.
Like, he's not even scared about it. He's just like, okay, well, I know you're about to get into it.
It's not what you think, I swear.
He did not have any knowledge about this either. So
he's like, Selena, I can improvise too.
Right. Selena, in her fucked up mindset, is like trying to come up with any other explanation for why Arabin would be dealing in slaves.
Mm-hmm.
What's the true reason? It's like she thinks that the letter might not be real, or Ralph read it wrong or was lying to them. I do appreciate that, like, in the middle of them figuring it out, she talks shit about the room they're in. She's just like, I'm Otterland's assassin, not like some backstreet harlot. This is a girl that when she got 16, she got to be 16, her parents bought her the new car instead of all of us poor kids getting the used car. And this is what it's giving. This is what it's giving.
But Daddy, I wanted the new car.
It's like, oh my god. Arabin doesn't need the money. Like, she talks about how he pays for her things, which is very funny because it's such good writing. She talks about how Arabin buys her things. She's like the best dad in the world, right? He buys her exquisite clothing, he buys her good like materials, but just like any pimp would in a prostitute situation, they have to all pay him back. All of the stuff he buys them, all of this, he makes a percentage of the profits.
It's almost, I mean, obviously it's like messed up, but it's also messed up in the way of like, what if he just randomly gives you a bunch of shit and it's like, here's all this wonderful stuff, and then expects you to pay it back without ever letting you know.
Yeah, gifts don't really work in the guild. I mean, it's interesting because if you're ever like in an actors guild or whatever guild, they do take a percentage of profits, but this is really where he's like, okay, I'm buying you all these things, but you have to pay me back, keeping you in servitude. People, like the courtesans do, It seems like at least Selena, and to a certain extent maybe some assassins, have a boundary of morality, which is good. I mean, at least they have, like, Selena says, we kill bad people. We kill the people who like didn't pay their money, or like, bad, politicians or whatever. Like, we don't deal in innocent people who had nothing to do with it. Like, this is wrong.
It's also, though, a level of naivete, though, when it comes to that.
Really?
Like, we don't, in the sense of like, it feels like she's like saying, we're the good people, we kill the bad people, sort of thing. But at the same time, Arabin, her master, is making this deal for slave trade and didn't tell her about it.
Yeah, like, she might have that moral compass, but that doesn't mean that the entire guild and or Arabin have the same feelings. Clearly not.
Yeah, so it's like almost like she's got the wool over her eyes at the moment. She thinks that they're doing good.
But she's starting to realize it, which is like why I think we're starting here in the, because like this is, I feel like the turning point for her in maybe losing faith in this guild, because it's all that she's ever had, but now she's like starting to lose faith in it. So we flash forward to dinner with Ralph. It's weird that they're eating together, even though they're not dignitaries or like princes or princesses. It's almost like he's still treating them as guests.
Right. I mean, I guess that could make sense, guests of someone he's planning to do a business deal with, and I guess we don't know how much Arabin is offering to pay for this shipment of slaves.
Right. Apparently, since he has money. It's funny, she can't eat anything because she doesn't want to take her mask off, so like she can't eat it. I do appreciate how she's just sitting there contemplating both Ralph and Sam choking to death.
He's like, I hope that your food is poison.
She's like, choke.
But of course no one could see, so they just see like the blank mask just staring at them.
I mean, I guess she can like, drink, I guess, but she can't eat. And it seems like Ralph keeps baiting her to take the mask off, even though she's not going to do it.
I wonder why he's so intrigued.
I do hate it, though, that she doesn't take shit about anything. Because Ralph says, like, unless, like, what's underneath is gonna, like, stop our appetites. And she's just like,
no, don't go there.
Bitch. She's like, keep talking like that, and I might give you a reason to wear a fucking mask.
I also just love the kicks under the tables between Sam and Selena. Like, Sam, like, kicks her, like, hey, behave, and she kicks him back, and he's like, ugh.
Right, actually.
He's so playful.
Because he didn't footsie.
Deadly footsie.
He deadly footsie, yeah. He didn't kick her or I feel like he didn't kick her too hard, but then she like really kicked him.
She's hangry.
I do appreciate that all the other pirates kind of like stopped and looked over and was like, oh, well, you really said that.
Yeah.
Again, Sam seems to be like the only level-headed person here. Have you ever seen her without the mask? He goes, once, and that was enough. Clearly, we know that's a lie, but it seems like Sam is also very good at saying on-the-fly shit.
Improvising,
Right. Improv. So he says, well, if you show me your face, then perhaps you'll indulge us in the tale of how you became the protege to Arabin Hobble. And she's just like, well, if you show me your map, maybe I will. Because apparently this is legend. Like, what people know about Ralph is that he has a map on him that can actually show him shit.
He sold his soul to get this map.
Yeah, according to legend, that is what it said. He sold his soul to have a map of the continent on his hands that shows him, what was it? Hold on. It was like treasure, but also like, think of the Marauders map and on his hands. Of like
it's
their
basically
world.
Like treasures and then anyone who's coming into his territory and all the seas basically.
Yes. And very, very interesting, haha, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The map hasn't moved for 8 years. Interesting, because what we now learn about this world, slowly and surely.
Our first hint at it.
Yes. The time that since the Fae have been banished and executed, when Otterlin had conquered and enslaved the rest of the continent, and magic had disappeared. Whoa. That's 3 major things very much said quickly.
My first thought when I read that was, okay, that's very different from ACOTAR, where ACOTAR was like the Fae who were enslaving the humans and, they were in charge, they were all powerful and, magic was everywhere and Fae were everywhere. And then this is just saying, there's no magic, humans are banishing Fae. And it's like, uh-oh.
I don't like this world.
Where are the hot Fae?
Yeah, right. So, yes, magic apparently has disappeared. That is a very important thing to note for this series, is that when Otterlin, it almost seems like everything's coinciding, but we don't know why. Again, my first thought was maybe because Otterlin was conquering, maybe the universe, fate, whatever system that these people live in, that maybe someone decided that they didn't, or the magic itself didn't deem them worthy to have magic anymore.
Then again, how the hell does magic just disappear?
Again, an unanswered question, but something that we know. And yes, we do learn that 8 years ago, Otterlin conquered everything. We don't know why. We don't know why they decided to do that. And that the Fae, yes, like Liesl said, we're banished. That doesn't make any sense. It seems like the Fae are very, compared to humans, very powerful. How the hell were they banished in any sort of way? I have questions and no answers. But I can't wait to find them out.
Soon, hopefully.
Right. So, Selena made a comment to Ralph that he didn't really appreciate about how she climbed her way to the top versus he kind of sold it instead of like worked his way. He's like, you think for the past 8 years I haven't had to kill my way to the top? And she's like, well, I guess we're kindred spirits. Yeah, like when she asked like how you became the pirate lord, my dumbass, like I was like, bro, he killed everyone to get to the top. Yes. That's how it works.
That's, yeah, especially with pirates, that's how it works. Like, the top pirates are usually the ones killing and ravaging and all that sort of stuff. But I think rereading it made me, like, listen to the undertones of the words a little bit better, of the way that it's suggested that he was young and his name was not out there and he had a small crew and that sort of stuff. And then he supposedly sold his soul to the devil or whatever to get this map on his hands. And then magic stopped, like, disappeared. And so his map stopped working. And from then on, then he had to, like, crawl his way to the top. After that, couldn't rely on the magic anymore.
And it's interesting because they don't necessarily in this book even paint Ralph in a very negative way. He's kind of a foil of Arabin in a way, but it's
he doesn't necessarily seem bad.
I mean, besides the fact that he's dealing in slaves.
Other than that, yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird continuity error that I'm finding. I do appreciate, though, when he said, who would think a young man with a patchwork crew and one ship to his name? It was like, that was One Piece for sure.
Yeah.
Being constantly underestimated until, like, he got to the top. So then, of course, Ralph gives her a little bit, your arrogance is going to get at you someday. It's like, you want my advice, you better watch your back around Sam, because there's always someone waiting for you to slip up.
Right.
Which is interesting because that is a general good rule of thumb. Like, you should always be on guard, but the fact that he's trying to turn them against each other right off the bat is like, right. I wouldn't do that. So, of course, we flash forward to them in the bedroom later. Nothing happening.
Flash forward to the bedroom.
That's literally what I put.
No, you specifically put flash forward to them in their bedroom.
I had to give, like, the... Oh my god. I love myself.
Good.
So, yeah, straight up, Sam says he doesn't mind Ralph, except for the fact that he's dealing in slaves. Let's, like, remind ourselves of that at every good turn.
I could just see him, like, laying back on the bed and just like, I don't mind Ralph.
She's like, of course, because he told you to assassinate me. Yeah, she doesn't really take people teasing about killing her too kindly. I mean, I wouldn't either, I guess. But basically what Sam says is that Sam wouldn't kill Selena because he would face Arabin's wrath if that was the case, or if he didn't come back with her at all.
Right. He'd be, like, hunted down and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So I'm going to have a you moment here for a moment where, they're kind of having this spat of theirs. And then, like, Sam just, like, rolls over on his side of, like, you really can't take a joke, right? like you really don't understand teasing, do you? And he's, like, just sitting there, like, hand on his... like, just, like, lounging, basically. And I'm like, that's such a boyish thing. Like, it's actually kind of cute.
Are you telling me I do that? Or you're just having
No, like, having a... I get this from you, of having a moment that's not necessarily related to the plot, but it's focusing on a guy doing something. So you're
having a hot moment, but instead you're like, cute.
Yeah.
Instead of when I say hot, you're saying, oh, that's cute.
Exactly.
Which is that going to be our new phrase?
Kind of a you moment in the way that I have started doing it more because of you.
You're welcome. That one's a you're welcome for sure.
He just seems so boyish and charming.
He's so cute.
He was meant to be a courtesan after all.
Well, and apparently, as we learned later, his mom was like the hottest courtesan, and it's like, that makes sense. I do the idea that he's the only one who takes her threats seriously. I mean, everyone outside takes her threats seriously, but he says, he's like, you're really not going to kill me tonight, are you? Like,
it's almost like one of those, I don't know, like one of those moments where it's like a long silence. Right, and he's just laying there in the dark of the room, and then just suddenly it's like one more thought before he falls asleep. Selena, should I be watching my back?
I imagine she's like, yes, Sam?
He's like, should I watch my back tonight? And she's just like, not yet. Not tonight. And he's great.
Really long pause. And then she's like, not tonight.
And it's just secondary comment of just like, got it, not tonight. So another night then. Got it.
Apparently Gabriel said he likes my like sexy tone voice. My deep tone when I say that. And I'm like, that's my Selena voice.
We're waiting.
I coined it. Anyway. So, I do like the subtle flirting, though. Again, because they know each other more, it seems like this is the first time that's really happening for them, where they're kind of bonding like this.
Sibling bonding.
The fact that she was listening to him breathe was cute.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, you and me are always a fan of that. Even if it's not like a romantic relationship, we've always been a fan of like, okay, these family members are in the same room and they're listening to each other breathing. Like, that's just a calming thing.
Agreed.
And we've talked about that in other seasons.
Right. So, yeah, Selena is just, she couldn't sleep all night because she's like the slave. She is so bothered by this deal. And we know that she makes sense. There is no question in our minds that, like, yes, you should be bothered about this. But according to everyone else on this, you know, she's the odd one out here.
For some reason, like, not wanting slaves is odd.
They live in such a cutthroat world that because, like, apparently this empire has just gotten so bad. And again, we don't even know to a certain extent, but we know that people are having to deal in slaves now. That just makes it seem this place has just fucking gone to hell. It's interesting how she brings up Ben, which is something that, even though we never have met, we never knew this character, it's very much on Sarah to give an emotional death to a character that the main character finds. And she's like, well, if Ben was still alive, he wouldn't have agreed to this.
Right.
And would have been fighting it at every point. Apparently she looks horrific because she didn't sleep.
I mean, and also, I get it, sleeping in a really hot place as well. Like, no one can look pretty waking up from that.
And because, like, I mean, she's got to wear that fucking mask and get up all the time, that she doesn't really have too much time to cool. So apparently she's already decided that she's going to ruin this deal and she only has 2 days to do it.
Good plan.
So, and find a way to come out of it alive.
That's also pretty important.
Right, because not only is she fucking over Ralph's deal, she's fucking over Arabin's deal, who she has to return to at some point.
Yeah.
So, she's planning on talking to Ralph alone because she doesn't trust Sam and she doesn't think he'll help her, which I'm thinking to myself, because I'm thinking Sam's the love interest, I'm like, bitch, he probably would help you if you just asked.
Right, but you gotta ask, and she doesn't seem like the type to want to ask for help.
And she, no joke, this would have pissed me off if I was a person. She's like, just get me breakfast.
He's like, what?
Yeah, what? The fact that he had a Princess Bride reference in here.
A man after our own heart.
He said, as you wish. I was like,
as you wish.
You motherfucker. Just to make it.
He's got to be a love interest, right? If he says, as you wish.
Literally, when I think of Sam, I think of Wesley.
Aw.
I do.
I mean, hey, pirate robbers, you know? Pirates.
Also, Wesley was hot. Anyway.
But he's blonde.
I know but he's dirty blonde though. When I think of blonde, I think of Prince Charming from Shrek blonde, and that icks me. So
okay.
I've had to clarify that for everyone. So
sorry for any of you bright blonde people out there.
Hey, the blonde girls are good, but the blonde guys, dye your hair.
Wow. Wow. I apologize on her behalf.
There's no blonde boys watching this. I'm going to tell you that right now. But so Selena kind of gives us more of a landscape about this bay. It's fortified in a horseshoe style, and there apparently is a big chain covering the exit, which they call Shipbreaker, which, y'all, I thought of Avatar right away. Book 3, the fucking fire fence that they had. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was, what is it, like the day of the eclipse or whatever?
Yeah, I definitely picture what you're picturing, and I can see that. My first thought, my reference for what I was imagining from the movie Water Horse, basically about the Loch Ness Monster. Basically, it was in a loch, one of the lakes, and like there was this chain net that was being raised to keep it inside of the loch.
Interesting. I've never seen that, so I can't visualize what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
I'll send you a picture of it. Well, I'll put it in the Discord.
So that's a problem. If they want to get these slaves out, they're going to have to find a way through that.
Find some way to disable the shields.
Right. The only cool thing about this bay that she mentions is that it's not like a very rich bay in the terms of it, like kind of seems like a village-esque type, but it's the fact about how many ships can be held in this place, and also like the ships themselves.
It's it's a port town. It's focused on the bays and the dock, the bay and the docks.
So Selena kind of bothers Ralph so much that he's like, I mean, do you want to see me examine them? She's like, yes, I would like to.
Just so Aaron's getting his money's worth.
Right. She is trying to get all the information she can by trying to say that I'm just trying to make the best out of this quote unquote investment.
Right.
So she also mentioned that there are catapults at the watchtowers that would destroy a ship if the chain didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing that they have to disable or destroy, whatever.
A step in the plan.
So we find out that there are 100 slaves on one ship. That is fucking horrific. It's kind of terrible, but I don't know if you guys felt this in high school, but when we ever talked about slaves in high school, they had like moments where they would talk about how many slaves would be put on a ship or whatever and show the conditions. And when she says, how do they all fit? My dumbass was just like kind of slapping my forehead at that. I'm like, that's the point. They don't. They're not treated like real people where they all get a bed. They have to like dogpile, lay on each other or whatever the fuck. There's no conditions. That's why they call them slaves. And that's like they literally lose their humanity on the spot. And or how they should be treated as a human being, as a person.
I mean, and another thing that I think about with that, like the cramming into spaces, was like the concentration camps. Everyone was crammed into those small houses, and or not even houses, like just the buildings and
structures. I knew what she meant.
I've been to Dachau, which is one of the big concentration camps, not as big as Auschwitz, and so basically when I was doing like the tour of that place, the tour went inside one of those buildings, and it was claustrophobic, and I was standing alone in like an area of like 5 feet, and that was claustrophobic, and those houses were like, they would have been completely filled up with people, and it's like, yeah, basically people who are prisoners and slaves and all that stuff, they don't get human rights. And it's terrible.
What a great way to start this series. I will tell you, Throne of Glass is a lot darker than ACOTAR.
It's more realistic.
So, I mean, very much so, yeah. And it's like ACOTAR kind of had a very painted lens on a fantasy world, while this one is giving you kind of like clear cut, this is some bull, and it's terrible. But a lot of good conversations come out of it, and I do appreciate that. Even though I appreciate us having the awkward conversations, because someone needs to talk about them. And in today's society, it's like people don't want to talk about anything. And it's like, I'm very more than happy to.
If you refuse to talk about it, that doesn't make it go away. It just means that you want to be ignorant to it.
Nothing will. Yeah, because like she's just like, oh my God, this happens. And I'm like, yeah, it's been happening for a while.
Welcome to the world.
It's again the privileged arrogance that she has. And she's like, wow, like, I'm complaining about this bedroom that I'm in that has 2 beds. And then all these people are down below the docks. It's like, holy shit, like get some fucking perspective.
Right. She's like, oh, I'm glad that I have my own bed then.
Yeah, so she's trying to find a way out of this deal, whether or not she just ruins it, whether she frees them. It didn't seem like she was freeing them really at first. She just wanted to ruin the deal so they didn't get sold to Arabin. But then the plan changed when she sees them. She's like, nope, I want to free them. This is not right.
At first, when she wanted to ruin the deal, she's like, well, I want to preserve Arabin's name and say that he's not associated with slave trade. But then, like you said, when she sees them, she's like, no, I gotta save these people.
And I do appreciate how there's no question. I mean, again, she's our main protagonist, but like, she's like, no, I can't stand by and do this. Do you want to mention, though, a couple of nitty-gritty things? Ralph has a called Sea Dragon pommel on his sword, which as soon as I heard that, I'm not going to lie, I was like, okay, this is going to be a book series where like the pommels of the swords actually matter for like person. And it's going to be very distinct based on their title, their person, whatever. And I mean,
but he has like this pommel as a sea dragon, but there's also a tavern called the Sea Dragon and a ship called the Sea Dragon. It's like, that's a bit on the nose.
Not original at all.
That's kind of his thing, I guess.
It's his thing. She does want to make sure that there are guards on the ship, so she knows that, like, there will be, so that she doesn't get caught off guard. She does mention that it's weird that Ralph is not being patrolled through the streets. Like, someone as the head of a, would be protected. He doesn't seem too concerned about that. Maybe a little arrogance on his part as well.
Right.
Ralph wants to see Selena pay for her arrogance someday, and I hope I'm there to see it. Hilarious.
Says he as he's being arrogant.
Right, walking through the streets without an escort. I'm like, she literally could have killed you at any point here.
Right.
So back in the room, Sam did get her food, which she thinks is poisoned with belladonna flowers, which belladonna, it's the same thing. I do know is in witchcraft. I don't exactly know, like, why that is, like, what spells it's used for. Anyone who's a witch in the audience. Let us know what belladonna flowers do.
If we have any witches in our audience.
I know one.
Yes, we know one.
Sam knows she's planning something immediately. Very much like Selena knows Arabin, Sam knows her.
Just real quick, I looked at belladonna plants. So, factual implant here. Factual rant here. Basically, belladonna, it's a deadly nightshade. So it's a highly poisonous plant in the nightshade family, where all parts of the plant are toxic.
Oh, shit.
And they can cause hallucinations, delirium, and death if ingested.
Got it.
However, it was also used as a cosmetic on the eyes at one point in history.
Cosmetic? Did people die?
Probably got sick, but it seems like they used it as, like, eyeshadow. Purple eyeshadow.
Hell no. Hell no. Well, thank you for that amusing factoid.
Yes. So basically, she thinks that Sam poisoned her.
Which, I mean, living on a life on the run, I would understand. She's like, what sort of questions did you ask him? I can be polite when I want to. I don't know.
Not really.
Sam doesn't back down from her, though, which I think is very admirable. Like, he doesn't just let it go.
To you, that's hot. Someone who's going to stick around, and not be scared of a fight.
I can hate you.
I'm just saying, if there's anyone out there who's like that, Tabi's looking for someone.
So, what's interesting is that you're more like Feyre and I'm more like Selena.
Yeah.
Ella. So, she's probably going to be doing that to me a lot. No, just you wait, bitch.
I know. I'm prepared, but...
The fact, dude, not gonna lie though, Selena tries to lie to him, but then she has a little paragraph where she talks about how his chest is unbuttoned and how she can, like, see him. Yeah. And she's like, it felt strangely intimate. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is a 16-year-old who has never been kissed. I have been in this situation many a times.
Never been kissed, never been touched, nothing like that.
Even in my virgin 20s, I'm like, yeah, sometimes I see a man's chest and I'm kind of like, I want to touch.
I want
to touch. It's weird. It's like she comes up with every excuse in the book not to tell him, but then really at the heart of it, she doesn't want to endanger him by even association. Mm-hmm. This plan of hers, whether it's Ralph, whether it's Arabin, she doesn't want him involved, but he's gonna get involved.
Which also, I want to say that's kind of stupid, because if she believes that Arabin sent Sam there as the watchdog, if she ends up doing something really stupid, he's gonna get dragged down with her anyway.
Yeah, true. Again, I think dumb 16-year-old logic, I'm not gonna lie.
Of course.
The fact that she tells him that Ralph is handsome and he's like, he's 12 years older than you. Can you do that math? What's 12 plus 16?
28.
Is that 28? Yeah. Oh, that's hot. Yeah. Well, nope. That's a lawsuit. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Connection there of like, ooh, 28. Oh, damn, that's hot. Wait, no, bad. That's a lawsuit. But also, like, Sam is, like, almost getting jealous here in that sort of way. In a weird way. He's like, you don't like him, do you?
Nah, no. Is that what you like? Dear God. It's like, I can't be Orlando Bloom. Like, what do you... My God. So, he pisses her off.
I'm glad you realized that was a lawsuit.
Bro, well, because I was thinking about my 25-year-old ass. I was like, ooh, a guy that's older than me? Ooh, 28. And I was like, wait, nope, hold on.
Nope,
I don't mean...
wait, where's Selena there?
I don't mean in the context of her. So Sam is like mad about that. So he opens the windows and threatens her, and so that people will see her face.
That's like such a petty thing to do.
Low blow. So she gets in his face, like they're up close and personal. I'm tired of all the melodrama and nonsense. And I'm even more... It almost seems like this is the first time that he's standing up to her and telling her, like, I'm done with your bullshit, for honestly. Whatever plan you're concocting, whatever bit of intrigue you're about to drag me into, just remember that you're not head of the Assassin's Guild yet. Touch me again and you'll lose that hand.
Flirting.
How many... Flirting in the assassin way, yes.
Two assassins flirting often results in the threat of losing a hand.
I mean, how many times have I told you that, though?
That I'd lose a hand if I touched you?
No, that I've just said that in context.
Yeah.
Of like, yep, touch me and lose that hand. It's a good saying.
It is.
So they don't speak. They're like pretty much in dead silence for a majority of the dinner and everything else. So Ralph does take them to the holding facility that so this isn't their batch of slaves. This is just another one. Mm-hmm. Yes, because she wants to save them all. So she wants to figure out where they're being held. How do I save them all? So the slaves slaves are terrified of her. They literally mark the air against evil, like as a cross thing.
She comes in like this full black suit, a cloak and a hood and this mask. Like, of course they're going to be terrified. Probably because it's saying that there are like some of those tribesmen that we were talking about, like the men of the Fang. Whatever. It's like they have probably never seen someone like her.
How much you gonna bet they're cannibals, dude?
Ew.
Ew, no.
I mean, maybe if the winters get hard.
Maybe. They've definitely ate horse before. I can just tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the mountain clansmen, that's fucking... So there's mountain clansmen, there's women that are younger than her, and there are children there, which is like the most heartbreaking thing to see.
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
Again, it's just the horrifics of like war depictions, and Otterlin wanting to not only take over this world, or this continent at least, but just like wanting to break them in the process. That's what the real big thing is.
I'm not liking Otterlin very much.
No, we're definitely not supposed to be liking that. Because she even says conquest wasn't enough. No, Otterlin had to break. So it's interesting. So we get to learn a little bit more about Eowyn. Eowyn, I guess, they still have a king. It's almost like they came to terms with Otterlin's demands, but they're still rebelling.
Yeah.
Which, like, makes sense. It doesn't seem like the other territories have kings and queens as well. Like, they're the only ones left to have royalty.
Yeah.
And maybe because that's they strike a deal, we don't really know. But again, there's still the brute force of rebels down there. Because the land is too vital for Otterlin to abandon, so they kind of have to... That's a very tricky situation. So again, we get these other captains, like Fairview, Blackold. Not really, I guess, important in that sense. Just give them names for sure. Holy fuck, names. This really got real. The fact that this one dude that they're presenting to Sam and Celaena is stripped naked. I'm like, this is the real deal. This is what happened.
They don't get any clothes. Slaves don't get clothes.
Fucking insane. And to calm Celaena down, Sam grabs her hand. Which is very cute.
But also, like, in this moment, honestly, I'm glad that she's not there alone. That she roped him in a little bit.
Oh, she would have killed them all, I think. Right up the gate. Because not only is it to comfort her, but it is to keep her from going for her dagger. Which I thought was kind of funny. Now he understands why she's been so upset. I mean, clearly, you should be... enslavement should upset anybody.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, this is why... Now the clock is turning about what she wants to do. He can already tell she wants to say... No, Ralph is legit a slave trader. Like, he's been doing this for a long time.
And he's only 28.
Right. The 2 years he's been doing this, he's been doing it since he's 26. So they're even buying the slave... Like, apparently Otterlin is buying slaves to go into the salt mines as well, which is kind of interesting because it's like, they're all enslaved or rebels from war, right? The fact that they have to buy slaves to go into their salt mines is very like, don't you have enough? Why the fuck are you... I mean, I guess in that way, there's too much and not enough in terms of like, because there's probably a lot of people that die in transit in the mines themselves, you know, like it's fucked. The whole thing's fucked.
And also it's like prisoners of war, and it's like, well, here, like, alliance, I'll offer you an alliance, I'll take your prisoners of war and put them to work in the mines.
So Ralph does seem to have some sort of guilty conscience about when Celaena asks about the children, because she does mention that he does get a little bit short, or like at least softer.
Agitated.
He says he tries to keep them, like, he keeps them with a mother until a certain point, but beyond that, they can't control on the chopping block whether or not they're separated.
Right.
Which is also true to historical reference. They can keep them together up to a certain point, and then afterward they can't really... But again, them saying, oh, we can't do anything. I mean, first of all, you're buying slaves. Like, I'm sorry. You can't have a moral high ground here. Where's the moral compass?
And also, it's like, he can keep them together until he sells them, and then it's up to their new masters.
So Sam does start to get triggered when Rolf talks about where they'll be going, because it says that a lot of the kids get sold into brothels, because we get to learn a little bit more lore about his mother. His mother was sold into the brothel in Rifthold at 8 years old.
Wow.
Fucked. And became literally the best courtesan in Rifthold. She got so wealthy that she even became one of Arobynn Hammel's favorite courtesans, which is also a little disgusting.
It's like, so Sam's master fucked his mother a lot.
That could be Sam's kid, or Sam could be his kid. Who the fuck knows? That's gross. So she got killed by a wealthy client and could not free herself. So she was still indebted. You're right. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he did kill her. Who knows?
That'd be wild.
And she made sure that Arabin took Sam instead of him getting involved in Courtesan.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. He's going to be either sold to be a courtesan or he's going to be sold to be an assassin.
Which maybe at least he can sort of protect himself now?
He can learn how to protect himself. Yeah, it's like, I still think both of them are bad, but I guess one of them is like, has at least more skill in terms of protecting yourself, let's say.
Yeah.
I like how this situation shifted from Sam trying to calm her down to then Selena trying to calm him down.
Yeah. It's like they're meant for each other. They're perfect for each other.
Right, because she knew how much that triggered him to hear that.
And it's almost like, in a way, like, even if they are butting heads constantly and they're rivals and whatnot, they both still are decent human beings and they understand each other's triggers in a way.
Which is funny when you look back at the first chapter, because it's like, it seems like Sam's the only one out of place here, but it's like Selena really deep down is just as good in her heart of hearts, because the fact that she even doing
has anything, a better mask.
Yes. So Selena runs out onto the beach and Sam's trying to stop her, but she doesn't. So this part was a little bit weird when I read it at first, because I was like, wait, is she naked? No, she's not naked. She like strips off her mask. So she, I guess, just says fuck, like anybody who would have seen me or whatever. I guess this beach is abandoned.
You know, what happens on the beach stays on the beach.
I read. So Sam grabs onto her to try to calm her down, but then she like gets in a full-on fist fight with him, which I thought was that was hot, not gonna lie. That someone was on top and then another person was on top and kicking the knees out from under everyone and da-da-da.
It was hot because someone was on top.
Well, I mean, she eventually gets on top, but... I'm not gonna lie though, it's funny because he knows the moves that she's using because they both grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually Sam does pin her on the ground, and I had a thought, and this was only when I read this time. I wonder if, like, because I was thinking back to the first chapter, right, where she says that he's always like second best. I wonder if he decided to be that and let her win sometimes. Like, what if he's always been quote unquote better than her, but has let her win? Because this time he comes out on top with no problem.
That could have some underlying meanings, for sure.
No, because I really thought about that. What if, again, I'm not trying to downgrade her abilities.
Of course not, but like, he's also been supposedly pushed aside as like letting her be the protege, and you know, I mean, we don't know the reasonings behind Arabin's choice, but at the same time, it's I definitely could see that Sam has been holding when it comes to whenever they spar.
And I don't think it's out of pity. I definitely think it's out of, dare I say, feelings for her, in terms of like, he knows that she wants it more, and it doesn't seem like he has a high opinion of Arabin, especially in like a later chapter of this book specifically.
Right.
So it seems like she actually has faith in Arabin whilst he doesn't.
It's almost like, hey, so you want to impress Arabin, or maybe like Arabin's going to be upset at you if you don't do this, so there's something that I can do in my power to help you succeed.
Right. I do. My God, she is me, isn't she? The handsome face, along with the voice and the pleading for her to stop. She literally just falls into the spell. Like, she literally is like, okay, I guess I'll stop.
I mean, if I were pinned down to the sand by a handsome man who was like pleading at me to stop doing anything, I think I would also be like, okay, I'll hear you out.
Okay, god damn it, that was a Tabiism. Holy shit, it's gotten bad, even with us separated. Like,
maybe even more so. I'm trying to make your presence here.
I feel that makes me feel so proud of you somehow.
By saying that I'd want to be pinned down by a man in the sand?
Yes, of course I'd be proud of you to do that. Yes, go for it.
Good to know. I'll let you know if that ever happens.
Please, I'll be there. Not watching, but I'll be there, because I'll probably also be being pinned down by a man not too far down the beach.
Pinned down at the same time?
I don't know, like kindred spirits. Just the way
you said that, of like, well, when you're being pinned down by a man in the sand, I'll be there.
I'll be there in spirit, at least.
Yes, you will.
So she's like, of course, I don't really have any reason to fight him. He's just trying to understand. She comes out and said it. She figures out he's just as mad about the slaves as she is. Like, the slaves make her sick, and she tells him that she's going to free them. And I'm going to do it with or without you. You know what I mean? The first thing he says, if Rolf will kill you or Arobin will kill you if Rolf doesn't do it first. It's not like he doesn't want her to do it. He just is very worried about her.
It's like he's less concerned about what Arobin thinks and what Rolf thinks, and more so just, please don't get yourself killed.
Right, because if this was maybe any other assassin, maybe he would have been like, no, we gotta stick on mission. This was probably Arobin's like worst mistake in terms of like pairing them together, I think. Because I think he thought that they were so rivals that like he would be obedient versus, honestly, I think he thought Selena would be the obedient one versus Sam was the one that was getting tested. Because this does seem like a test. In a weird fucking way, this seems like a test. Sam gets all up in her space, and it's funny because he doesn't understand why this bothers her so much. Like, considering what I think he thought about her. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think this is where he fell for her. I don't necessarily know if I can say that for sure, but this definitely feels like a falling in love. Not necessarily falling in love, but definitely falling into like moment because they're on the beach.
Yeah.
They just went through some traumatic shit in terms of like looking and stuff. I guess they're not, we kind of talked about this earlier, but Selena kind of gets into this monologue with Sam about we kill people that I guess deserve to get killed. These people don't have, these are entire families being ripped apart. Like every one of these people used to be somebody and now they're nobody. Like in terms of like how people see them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Sam clarifies he doesn't like the idea of this, not just the slaves, but like even Arobin's involvement in this. The fact that it's like these people were in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's some fucked.
Yeah.
The fact that he says we're just two people, it's interesting that she's like, well, it's good that we're the best.
We're just two people. We can't free a bunch of slaves. It's like, well, we're two people, but we're the best.
But they're also like really young and untested, like this is like, it seems like this is the first time they're doing anything against the guild, against Arobin, like the whole nine.
And they're working together on this when they were thought to be rivals of sorts.
Right. And again, I know this was at the top of the episode, but like, I love this. As Liesl knows before she even tries to call me out, the idea that Sam doesn't back away from her and can see all of her and is not necessarily afraid. God, that's hot as...
It is.
It made her blood thrum. I see you, yes. And I mean, shit, Sam's right. Sam's giving a very Cassian vibe here of, I guess if we're gonna die, let it be for a noble cause.
If we're gonna die, let's die together.
True. The plan is concocted by Selena, and he says, we'll have to deal with the fallout with Arobin. She's like, just leave Arobin to me. I can smooth talk him. I somehow doubt that, but let's not...
From what we've been learning about Arobin so far, which is not much, he doesn't seem like the kind to just necessarily be sweet-talked. He seems like the sweet-talker.
Yes. So Sam, in a big le gasp moment, says, what if we run away? What if we do not go back to the guild? She's like, what?
What?
He's ready to run. He's ready to run off with her right here.
Wow.
If they run,
that seems more than just rivals.
Oh, yep. That seems like I've been thinking about this for a while. Because no guy just comes up with that on the fly. That's like a plan that's been concocted in his mind for a little bit.
Especially when they're in the situation where they have this debt that they have to pay off.
Yeah, because she's like, we can't do that. We'll be hunted for the rest of our fucking lives. We haven't paid him back. This is not a good idea.
But we'd be together.
Sam is spot on thinking that there's more to this. There is always another explanation. He's like, why did Arobin send us together? The people who are the most cutthroat at each other. His excuse for sending us was a lie. We're not instrumental in this deal. He is saying in his conspiracy theory, which I wholeheartedly believe in, says that Arobin wanted them out of the city for a month. Specifically a month. To do what? We don't know. But it seems like because these are the two assassins with a moral compass, it seems like maybe Arobin was doing some dirty deeds and maybe he didn't want them to know about it.
That's sus.
The biggest one, girl, he says it wasn't a coincidence that Ben was sent there the same night that he got captured. Because again, who leaked it?
Right.
Who leaked the information?
That's sus.
Some things don't add up. Again, she's so brainwashed. She's like, we're not supposed to question him. It's like, I understand that that's like what you were grown up to think, but that's just causing you to have ignorance in this situation.
Also, like, you question to learn, and if you refuse to question, you're stopping yourself from learning.
The fact that she does say we can trust Arabin, and then even as the words left her mouth, she felt stupid. It was like, well, yeah, that kind of, yeah. Doesn't seem like I can trust him too much. I mean, in our eyes, we haven't really gotten too much bad vibes from Arabin, but we also haven't really interacted with him too much. The fact that he's dealing in slaves, though, automatically puts him on a shit list. So
that's true. That, like, knocks him down a peg.
Yeah, it's like, why send the best people out of the city for a month, and why was Ben sent that night? It's good questions. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's like Selena trusts Arabin to a certain extent, but she also knows something in her gut's wrong. She just doesn't want to face it.
Mm-hmm.
Which
doesn't
I guess
want to name it.
She's not going to face it in this string of chapters for sure.
The idea is now planted in her head. The seed of questioning if Arabin can be trusted. That's what this first part's doing.
I mean, this is kind of like in a play a lot of the time, especially this being a novella and a prequel. It's the moment of, they call it in acting, it's kind of like the moment of change. It's like, why is this play happening at this point in the character's life? It's because it's a move from the status quo. She's been an assassin for a long time. Why is this novella? Why are we getting this instead of getting it when she was a child? It's because this is her, Liesl said, the start of her questioning the whole operation, Arabin himself, her as a person, like where are her boundaries as an assassin? And if she can face with that fact or not, which is a lot of good metaphors and a lot of good lessons. Especially for young people, dear God, because especially college is normally that turning point for a lot of people.
It's called a moratorium.
Yes, and I know what that is because you explained it to me, because I questioned it last time you brought it up.
I learned that in human development.
So Selena's walking on the beach alone without Sam, and so we get this really interesting, I have questions. There's so much about Selena's backstory that we are yet to realize, yet to understand, but we get some little nuggets in this last part. She talks about this, she feels this cold breeze from the north, and it's like this pine and snow smell. And it's this, she calls it this distant city at home. She says Orinth, which if you know from the map, Orinth is the capital of Terrasen. And so we get that I guess she's from Terrasen.
It's our first sort of mention of the North.
Yes. That
It's kind of weird though that she's getting this sensation of from the North when she's so far south right now.
Right. It's very interesting. I have questions. Especially because magic isn't in this world. So I'm like, long ago been her home, a city of light and music washed over by an alabaster castle with an opal tower so bright it could be viewed for miles. And I love constellations, girl. You know how much I love the stars. She sees up in the sky the stag, the Lord of the North, apparently, the immovable star that crowned his head.
I mean, I think even like if you guys have listened to our Agatar series, you know we love stars and that sort of stuff, and we've talked about that a lot. One of my favorite constellations, just because I can see it so like almost every night, unless it's cloudy. One of my favorite constellations is Orion, just because like no matter what, like when I'm driving or when I'm, just stepping outside to let the dog go to the bathroom, I can look up and just be like, oh, there's Orion's belt and his dagger, and there's his broad shoulders. There's a man in the sky.
I'm not gonna lie, Orion's kind of a hot name. You only know that from Zodiac Academy, and anyone who knows Zodiac Academy in the audience, Orion's hot. I mean, who doesn't love a good teacher romance? But anyway, you're talking about the stars.
But yeah, like it's just even more than like I used to think that the Big Dipper was going to be that like constellation for me of like, oh yeah, you always know where it is, and then the tip of the dipper like points towards the North Star and that sort of stuff, which is cool to know that. But Orion, it's like almost like Orion's always there when I'm looking up,
and that's cool. I mean, I don't really have a constellation, but it seems like this constellation for Selena is, I mean, I guess the North Star as we know it in our world is like, this is what the stag is. The North Star is like in the Lord of the North, whatever. So I guess we do learn that when Selena was 8 years old, Arabin offered her either death or join the Assassin's Guild, and which is wow. She didn't even get the court as an option, dude. Like. It was either literal death or you're an assassin. No, she was as limited in her choices as she had been when she was 8 years old. She was Otterlin's assassin, Arabin Hammel's protege and heir, and she would always be.
Something tells me that's going to change.
Very interesting that she sets it up as kind of like she has a lack of choice when it seems like she's fighting for people to have a choice.
Right. But almost also going with that, she's fighting for other people to have a choice, and she isn't fighting for herself to have a choice.
Yep. Spot on. So this, of course, we get the next day, Selena and Sam walking through Skulls Bay to kind of finesse the plan, figure out the layout a bit more. They get a bunch of information from the fishermen on the docks about that the rowboats aren't really owned by anyone. They're just like sitting there for free use. So can you talk about the tides? Okay, morning tide. What does that mean? I don't get what that means, bro.
Well, okay, so I forget exactly like what the exact like morning tide versus evening tide sort of thing, but the tides are basically like when it goes out based on like the pull of the moon around the earth. So like goes out for 6 hours and then it comes back in for 6 hours and goes out for 6 hours and back in for 6 hours.
Got it.
So basically that's what high tide is versus low tide, and then whether the tide's going in or out. It's basically like this system.
Okay, cool. Because she knows more about that than I, and I wouldn't have been able to explain that. So Sam also does, he flirts with some, they're not even called courtesans, they're called harlots, which I'm like, all right.
I mean, pirates.
I guess based on location, it depends on what the prostitutes are called.
Yeah. Of course, if we're thinking like Rifthold is supposedly the capital of this empire, of course they're going to be a bit more snobby and, distinguished about it of courtesans. And, it makes it sound so professional versus like a place like Skulls Bay where it's all taverns and pirates and sailors. That's going to be harlots.
It's like, dude, you're a whore, honey. Own it.
Exactly.
But if you call the courtesan a whore, she'd probably be mad.
She's like, I am much better than a whore.
So what he learns from them is that Ralph and his cronies, I guess, are going to have like a revelry tonight, in the tavern. They also figure out where the slaves are being kept and, how many people are guarding it and, the weapons and all that. So then they meet up with Ralph on their ships to meet their slaves. And apparently 7 died on the journey there. So there's only 93 of them, which that happened all the time.
And then in terms of the story, isn't then Erwin getting the lesser of the deal then? He's not getting his full deal if he's not getting all of his slaves.
And I guess it's one of those things where Ralph says he's like, we can't tell how many people are going to die in transit, so that's kind of like you have to know that going in, which is still fun.
Your losses.
Still fun. And then the other slaves from the other night are on a neighboring ship, so they're next to each other. Perfect for us, by the way.
Perfect timing.
She also asks, they're asking so many questions. I'm not surprised Ralph could kind of tell that like something was going on. Like,
yeah,
they were
like if he didn't, then that would be like he's not the lord of the pirates.
Right. She's making sure that there's people in the watchtower and that they switch at dawn. Like they switched at dawn. It is interesting that, again, I will tell you, guys, knowing forward, but for people who know this series, Selena is so far ahead that I really love how when looking back on decisions that she makes, it's like, oh, that meant more than like what I originally thought it was. I thought it was one thing and then it turned out to be like 2 things and it was like, okay, that's great.
She's many steps ahead.
Yes. So she straight up says, like, is there anyone who knows the common tongue? And anyone who knows about lore and this kind of cultural system, I love the fact that each of the territories have like a different language.
Yeah.
And so this Eelway, Fenharrow, Melisande, they all have different languages.
And like, it's not, obviously there's some version of they speak the common tongue, but with a dialect or a certain accent. But I love that when, like you said, when each territory has its own distinct language as well. It's
what makes them separated, but also, again, there's like a hint of supremacy and like racism afoot when Otterlin is, trying to take over these other places and convert,
It's like someone say, sorry, it just made me laugh because it's like all those like videos that you've seen of racists on YouTube where it's like, you're in America, speak American.
It's like, first of all, it's English.
Right.
And then it's like, bro, if an American dude went into like Germany, you better be knowing that they would be having a shit fit if like a German guy came up to them and like, you should be speaking German.
Exactly. Hey, for your bars and stuff. It's like, well, you're in Germany, speak German.
Yeah,
or rather, speak Deutsch. You're in the Deutschland. Speak Deutsch.
Racists don't make sense.
No, they don't.
So an old man from Eelway named Dia stands up. Yeah, answers the question. He speaks the common tongue. He is also afraid of her, which I guess makes sense. She does look like death.
A little bit, a lot of it.
I guess his mother was from Belhaven, and I'm assuming that means that they speak the common tongue there. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's like, how did they get it? How did each person get into this predicament is like what she's thinking.
I would think that each main city probably mostly speaks the common tongue.
Agreed.
And then sort of like if you go further out into the country, you hear less of the common tongue.
Yes, agreed. So hours later, they get onto a rowboat, and they each boat to each of the two ships while the town is bathed in revelry. They literally set up a tab to distract the pirate. They're like, hey, drinks are on me, dudes. And then they leave to do this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. So something interesting about Skulls Bay that Selena mentions here is that it's almost impossible to navigate at night and at low tide.
Mm-hmm.
So what she's saying is that they have to start rowing immediately at dawn to even get out of the way of the tide and the dead islands at night. Because it's going to take them a while to get out of not out of Skulls Bay itself, but out of the entire like archipelago.
Yeah.
Is what she's saying.
Especially on low tide.
Mm-hmm. So the Loveless and the Golden Wolf. It's interesting that I know ships have names, but it's interesting the names of them. I also love how they're using compact mirrors to talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool. Awesome, dude.
It's just like spy signaling.
I do like a good spy flick or just moments sneaking around.
Mm-hmm. Like sneaking around?
I wish I could have snuck around and did some shit as a kid, but I was too like much of a goody two shoes. But also like our house wasn't made for sneaking out. I had to go. Anyway, long story short, it was impossible to sneak out of my house unless I went out the window, and that was like a death sentence. So Selena doesn't kill any of these people. To get rid of the guards, she just uses these awesome pressure points. It is so funny. It has like a moment of a movie moment in here where a guard goes, John?
Oh,
I'm dead.
That's what you meant.
Yeah, no, in my notes, I'm literally like, John, ? He literally, there's just a random guard that's like looking for this guy named John, and she just like hits him.
I completely forgot that was in there. So when I saw that in your notes, I'm like, why are we bringing up John here?
Oh, like you thought I meant John Fratulo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's just popping up out of nowhere. Maybe that would be his character. I don't know. He'd just have one word. He's like, John?
He'd have one of those cameos, like when you're listening to the graphic audio and it's not his character, but you just randomly hear John.
You might. You never know. So at first, Sam doesn't signal back. It like takes him a minute to signal, but he finally does. She legit gags and binds the captain of the ship and threatens him to cooperate, which I didn't understand at first until she explains it to the slaves later. Again, people talk about what happened to the slaves and like the terrible conditions, but it's one thing hearing about it and then seeing it. So it's like she goes down into the barracks and it's like the smell, the conditions, the fact that people are naked, and on top of each other, and it's like no wonder people die. Yeah. So she finds Dia in the crowd because the reason, not only to know because for someone who speaks, because what she was saying earlier to Ralph was that, oh, it's good to know if somebody can speak multiple languages because they can sell easier, or it's a higher price, whatever the fuck. The reason she did that was so that she could explain to him what's happening,
and that then he can explain it to the others.
Yes. So,
which I really like the way that they have it of like he can explain it to the people who speak his other language, and then if any of them speak one of the different languages, etc., and it just keeps like chaining around until everyone understands it.
Yeah, it was definitely a chain reaction. I like that too. So they unlock everybody, but she tells them like, don't go on the deck till morning. Like you'll make it seem like you'll break the plan. They'll know something's
ruin
up.
The plan.
I do appreciate how in this moment, because again, we've seen Selena as very much the I want to take credit for things person. When they ask who it is, she's just like, she's just a friend.
It's like, wow, she doesn't want her name attached to this.
Or she's not trying to take, first of all, this isn't the time. Second of all, like, she's not trying to take credit for something that it's like, this is just common decency to her.
Yeah.
Which is true, it is.
This is just a good thing to do. Like, it's not a huge heroic feat. It should be something that everyone does.
Right. So she explains to them that she threatened the captain to lead them out of the islands. Yeah, under the penalty of death, which is funny. So while Sam and Selena create a distraction, they set out right at dawn, and irregardless if the chain is still up, they still row like hell to get to the other side. of it. Because, like, she says,
Because
we'll
if
take
you,
care of that.
yeah, and if you hesitate, you could be a couple minutes too late.
Yeah, and then they'll be stuck in low tide, and then they'll be fucked. So some of them have to man the rows to row faster.
But honestly, like, that's probably not the worst thing those slaves have been through.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're getting freed, so I guess, you know, it's not, they can do this.
They can row for a little bit.
I love, even though I'm kind of going through it like this, I love how the people are asking the questions. Because again, when there's like a loss of humanity, there's a loss of how especially these slavers are thinking of these people. They forget that they're human beings who have thoughts, who have like emotions even. Again,
Emotions?
A lack of humanity, and the fact that these slaves are very strategizing with her and already asking the important questions is good. It's good. She's very much having a Rhysand moment here where she's like, yeah, you could do whatever you want. Like, your fate is yours to decide, man. Also, afterwards, like, you could do whatever you want. You could throw the fucking captain overboard. Like, I don't care what you do with him.
Kill him, whatever.
Yeah, it's up to you. It's your choice.
Just make sure you get somewhere safe first.
I mean, you know, again, I'm not trying to I know we're just making a joke about the Rhysand thing, but especially with these slaves, it's like, we don't know if they've been slaves for a long time. We don't know if they've been, even if they're slaves for like 5 days. Their choice has been taken from them in every regard. And the fact that she's saying, you guys are being freed. I'm also not in charge of your escape. You guys are in charge of escaping on your own. We're going to help you, but you guys have to be the ones to do it.
And once you like make it out of the bay as well, which you will with our help, you're going to be on those ships on your own. It's up to you.
Just exactly like Dany in Game of Thrones. The same thing. So Selena pulls Dia aside and tells him that he has to go to the other ships and explain everything to the other slaves while they go back to shore to deal with Ralph and the other men. What a very brave individual. It's very much like, I mean, he's putting himself on the line here, but he could get caught at any moment from somebody. And he's like, yeah, we'll be ready. She's like, remember, start rowing like fucking hell. Whatever you do, even if the chain is still up, just go.
Depend on us to get it down.
I mean, they've literally thought of everything. A really good plan.
Considering they had a day to put this together and there's only 2 of them.
Right? It's like they're using their training as well. Like, I mean, this is straight up.
Use their training to fuck over Arabin.
Please do. Nervous? No, I'm ready to fucking unleash hell. Woo woo.
Woo.
Yeah, this got real fast. Like, we thought this was going to be just like a cute book, and then all of a sudden it's like, we're talking about slaves, we're talking about camps, and I'm like, oh my god.
You thought this was going to be a cute book, and it's called The Assassin's Blade?
But then there's like romantic shit, subtle flirting and shit, and it's like, oh, haha. So they go back to the tavern. They're drinking away, distracting the men. Sam was pretending he was getting drunk in front of Ralph, and oh my god, how fucking smart Sam is. He made a hole so small that in his cup that would make it seem like he was drinking, and no one noticed like puddle that surrounded him after so many drinks. Because people just probably thought he pissed himself. Who knows?
Probably. When you're that drunk.
I love his smarts. Again, an assassin being able to like outsmart an opponent, but also outperform them, you know? And yeah, here's where we learn that Ralph sold his soul for the map. Do we know if that's true? Again, rumor, speculation, who knows? But that's the canon we're going with for now. And she will only show him, like, he really wants to know what she looks like. Again, out of attraction, out of lust, who knows?
Just out of the pure want for the knowledge.
Curiosity. What is a game of Kings, guys? Do you guys know what Kings is? The card game?
I mean, I know that it is a card game.
I don't know how to play.
Yeah, we can continue.
But I would like someone in the audience to explain what a game of Kings is, because I have no idea. It seems like something so common, but I have no idea what it is. So hours pass by, and there are card games and songs and shit, you know. Selena's leaning into Sam's arm. He wraps his arm around her waist. Girl, you know how much I love that.
You know how much I love that.
An arm around the waist is attractive as hell.
Waists.
I also love the fact how it was described of a bright hot flame through her. She's like, are we pretending? Are we still pretending? So.
Well, what do you think? Do you think you're still pretending?
Hell no. Also, Sam apparently is great at cards, and to further distract the guards and Ralph, Sam legit tripped someone and started a full-on tavern brawl.
That somehow got knives involved.
Hey, you seen those old Western movies? It totally makes sense. But then Selena had to, like, escalate the bar by starting to cut I think she started it, because she started to, like, cut people, like, with daggers.
As you do in any bar fight.
Yeah, bring the daggers out. That'll make it, surely. She does get attacked by someone. I thought she was going to kill him, but no, she hit him in the nuts with the pommel of her dagger.
They can't risk killing anyone right now. They just need it to be a bar fight.
That would look very suspicious.
Yes.
I mean, she's even getting hit in the jaw. Like, I mean, yeah, like, they're all fucked.
Gotta make it look real.
Mm-hmm. I do love how she calls them animals. They themselves, the assassin, are animals when killing other people. It's like the assassins are like a refined order. Like, they're the courtesans of, the craft. I guess. It's like they have like this upper hand, I guess, to themselves. So the fight has been spread to the streets, and Ralph tries to stop the fight, has a movie moment of everyone looking to him, but then everyone going back to fighting anyway.
That is what it is, isn't it?
Yes. No, I was visually seeing this as I was reading. This was what's happening. So Selena finally finds Sam. He's roughed up good as well. They're definitely getting more touchy with each other, as I've noticed, because like he's grabbing her shoulders, suddenly closer than she'd like. Bitch, stop.
You like it. Just accept it.
So they're like, yep, now all we have to do. I do appreciate, though, how he says, like, if we don't die, like, if we live through this, remind me to teach you cards properly. There is stakes to this. I know, because we're in this world and it's like the first book, we know that, like, nothing's gonna happen to our main people. But to them, this is the first time they're doing anything like this in their lives.
Yeah, and like rebelling against Arabin. Just the whole idea of, like, if we live through this, it reminds me of the movie Anastasia, where it's like the cartoon movie Anastasia. Yeah. Where it's like at one point they're like jumping off a train or something, and it's like, if we live through this, remind me to thank you. If we live through this, remind me to thank you. And they keep saying that throughout the entire movie at certain points where they keep saving each other. If we live through this, and then it's like, I'll thank you.
Yeah, it's like, if we live through this, can we kiss?
Yes.
So yeah, they're about to make their way up to the catapults and to the chain. And guess who pops out of nowhere?
Rolf.
Lay gasp.
Also, okay, sorry, I meant to say this earlier as well. I know I made the reference already of the Sound of Music 16 going on 17 sort of thing between Sam and Selena. But also, isn't it kind of funny that there's a Rolf in there too? Because there was a Rolf in Sound of Music.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see, because I've watched the Sound of Music. I don't know it too well.
Rolf was the 17 going on 18 guy.
Ew.
So.
That just makes him gross.
And you know what's grosser? Was because he was singing it to the Liesl, who was 16 going on 17.
I mean, to be fair, like, even though people thought that song was problematic, it's like, dude, it's 18 and 17.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's
I'm sorry, anybody
difference.
in the audience. Like, yes, 18 is technically legal age, but it's 17.
Also, it's like a 1 year age difference.
Yeah, it's like, bro. Dude, we had fucking 18-year-olds, like, in our high school dating 14-year-olds. There was more fucked situations than that.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that was weird.
Good.
And illegal.
Very much so.
So, the ships are not moving yet. Ralph is, like, very observant. He knew from the get-go that something was wrong. He just didn't know yet. He was waiting for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he knows that Sam was the one that tripped him in the bar brawl to start it. Mm-hmm. He thinks they're there to, like, steal information or treasure or something. And then the Rose, like, pop out of the ship, and he goes, oh, fuck. No, you're dead now. Y'all are dead. What did you do?
The fact he gets more upset about that than the idea of stealing information.
Right. I mean, this is probably his livelihood. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is probably the main crux of his income. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I know this is YA, but very much it felt like she's like, okay, I gotta do the only thing I can do to distract him. Like, I was thinking like a full-blown Flasher moment, which is kind of how it feels, but in reality, she's just showing her face.
Yeah,
but like
the face that she has been told to keep hidden for forever.
So yes, she buys Sam time by unmasking herself. He's literally stunned. He's like, oh my god, you're a young girl. She's like, Selena Sardathian at your service. Badass. He's mad. He's like, how the fuck? How dare you deceive me? She's like, I told you I was beautiful.
That's not even what he was talking about.
Right. So, like, he's just like, wow, Arabin sent a fucking 16-year-old. She's like, he sent the best. Consider it an honor. It's really weird that as they start to fight and she's circling, that he doesn't appear drunk. He's either an alcoholic or maybe he's not really affected by it.
Or he didn't drink as much as, like, if because he was like, could tell that something was going on. He did something similar to Sam, for example.
He did like the whole technique or the throw it in the bush thing.
Right. Something along those lines and wasn't actually drinking.
Right. It almost seems like in this battle, she's like messing with him because like every time like they fight, he's like stumbling. She's like, wow, he sucks.
He's not a good fighter.
So it's funny because Ralph at the first thinks that she just wants to cut and run with the prophet. And she's like, no, I want to free them. And then he laughs. And this was a huge thing, right? He laughs when she says she's going to free them. A fool. You think freeing 200 slaves will solve anything.
I mean, he's somewhat right, but at the same time, it's a start. It's going to set things in motion.
It's the whole, like, well, that's like a whole big psychological question there is like that people, I feel like even in our day and age are like, well, what is me doing this one little thing going to do to affect anything? It's like, I don't know. Maybe the next time something comes around where there's another shipment of, there will be another person who's bold enough to do what I did, or at least setting an example to do, like, again, yeah, there's a bunch of thousands of slaves like in those camps, but I was in this situation and I decided to do what I could for all of them. And I saved.
And you actually did something.
200 people. Again, it's not saving the whole population, but it's saving a bunch of people.
And what if it ends up down the road where one of those slaves who was saved ends up freeing more slaves?
Yes, agreed.
It's like it's a waterfall effect.
The butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect. It's also a waterfall effect.
It's more, I mean, that's more of like the domino effect, but like, yes, I get it.
Yeah. Some sort of effect. It's gonna happen.
There are thousands of slaves out there. Are you going to march into Calicut and Endovir and free them too? Who knows, bitch? Maybe I will.
You don't know.
Right. I do understand what he says, though. He's like, if I don't kill you, your master will kill you. Like,
I mean, she seems to be one of Arabin's favorites, but he's probably, not going to be too happy about this.
Well, and right, Sam said that he would be upset if Selena didn't return with him. Bro, I love how she just knocks him out, and it's like, wow, that was a short fight. I was like, damn, didn't even try. So we find out that the other night she did tamper with the other ships so that they couldn't go after the slave ships.
Yeah, like the Redders or something.
Yeah, screwed with them, clogged them up, something like that. So I love this visual of her running, and she sees up the hill that Sam is also running against, like running up to the clock tower, and there's like a dozen pirates after him, but she's just kind of watching this from afar because she's behind, right? So we're kind of going back and forth between the ship and Sam and whether or not he's going to be able to do this, about to get the chain down. I love this metaphor, girl. The idea that not only that they're trusting two strangers to get them out of this, but the fact that they would rather die on the chain than sitting there and like letting whatever happens happen.
Rather than going back into chains.
It's fucked. Like they would rather risk death than sit and do nothing and like get captured again. It's a fucked choice, but it's also like feel like a lot of what they would take.
Yeah, they're willing to risk it.
Yeah, I mean, it's for real. So the chain does, very unfortunate. Sam tries to, get the chain down, but it takes more than one person to do. Because it's literally a chain, a fucking cross, the entire entrance. I don't think it would be.
Like, these aren't just like chains that are for shackling people. Like, these are big sea chains, the kind that like anchor huge tanker ships and cargo ships and all that sort of stuff, where the chains themselves are massive.
I mean, shit, they said that they could destroy a boat, a ship, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and especially if we're thinking about like almost the medieval style of ship that they have here, where it's all wooden masts and everything. That stuff goes against these massive chains. Of course, the masts are gonna.
Right. He's also fighting against pirates. She's trying to make her way up there to help him, but Sam heaves a catapult in front of where like the chain ring lever is, and he hits it with a big stone. Chain collapses, but Sam is nowhere to be found. A bunch of the pirates around them are dead because the fucking tower collapsed. And the last thing she sees of him is very cinematic. She sees a dagger get thrown at him before like the explosion.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the slaves are freed. They're like on their way to, she sent up a prayer and wished them well. But she did not pray enough because
Not for herself, anyway.
Yep, Ralph puts a knife to her throat and catches her. I was like, son of a bitch, I knew it wasn't over.
No, he went down too easy.
Yeah, I knew, like, fight wasn't, like, an end fight. That's kind of
If
crazy.
he literally killed everyone who was weaker than him, and that's how he got to be the Pirate Lord, like, I know Selena is, what's the word, skilled. I know Selena is skilled, but, like, at the same time, Ralph got to be Pirate Lord by fighting and killing and clawing. He's not gonna go down so easy.
Yeah, and she's badass, dude, so I'm like, got it. She's like, why not just kill me right now? Like, what are you doing? Why are you waiting? Apparently, he says he wants to, like, since she mouthed off to him so much, she wants to take all of the money that he's lost through flesh and torture her. Yay! Ralph's a great person.
So he's that kind of man when he sees a woman.
He's a little mad.
He's a little crazy.
He's a little cranky. She's like, how did you know where I was? I'm like, bitch, are you stupid?
He has eyeballs.
Where the fuck did you think he was gonna go? And when she said that, I was like, Selena, that's dumb.
You're smart about some things, but not everything, clearly.
Right. Even she has a knife at her throat and she still has the audacity to be like, well, and don't forget to add the tab from last night. We're not paying for that shit. Bro, they both think Sam's dead, which is like, I'm like, no, he's not dead.
Probably not. They wouldn't kill him that quickly, I hope.
No. Selena caught Ralph off guard as he was walking away, and she, like, trips him and then does, like, a leg maneuver to get him out, like, from under her grabs to get the... He does cut her in the neck, but it doesn't kill her. It just nicks her.
No, it's... Yeah, a nick. Just but barely scrapes the surface.
It's deep enough, but it's not deadly.
Yeah.
Dude, the faint crack in her kneecap, I felt that one too. I was like, you guys, we've all had that moment, and I was like, damn.
Yes, for sure.
And then, of course, she gets the upper hand, grabs his dagger, steps on his hand as he, like, reaches for his sword. I was like, ooh, I felt that one too. She has the upper hand, dagger at his throat. It's like, well, you tried to deal with otters and assassins, bitch.
What did you expect?
So this I wasn't expecting. Instead of, like, maiming or hurting him, she gives him 2 documents to sign. First of all, the deal's over. The deal with Arabin's over. You're never going to deal with him ever again. And that if Arabin himself enters a slave trade with anyone, that Ralph will go after him. Is a big fucking claim to give.
Yeah, and that's a big fuck you to Arabin, too.
Which I guess is a good enough threat, considering, like, Ralph kind of has a lot of pull similar to him.
Yeah, and also, if anything, if Arabin ends up being better than Rolf, that's going to be a death sentence for Rolf.
Yep. And then the second one is saying that Ralph himself will never, ever trade slaves again. And if he finds any pirate selling slaves, he has to kill them.
That's a big fuck you. Like, because like you said, it seems like obviously pirating, it seems like slave trade is like one of his bigger business deals that he does. So, like, stopping that's going to be bad. But on top of that, killing anyone who is doing slave trade, specifically killing any pirate, that's almost like killing your own kin.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, we know it's good. It's a good thing that she's doing this. But yeah, it's also like, he's like, why the fuck would I sign that? This is my livelihood. I hate to say investment, but it kind of is that.
It basically is.
But also, Skull's Bay will now become a safe haven for any slave fleeing the Empire. That's a lot.
It's a chance for the city to blossom.
Yeah, bring in all the potential, slaves. And then give them a safe place, safe haven. The Otterlin would never think to find them there.
Right.
So this was the biggest, this is the start of this book in this series. So it definitely set the tone for how I knew this was going to fuck me over a lot during this series, is the fact that all the way back in, like, the second or third chapter, where she said that she stole something from him, find out what it is. He says, I refuse to sign that piece of paper. She's like, oh, that's okay. I memorized your signature from when I was looking at your documents. And she stole his seal ring, which I wasn't thinking as a small round object, because I wasn't thinking of the seal. I was thinking of a seal as like a seal.
Yeah, like a stamp.
Instead of one with a ring. But I remember in these fantasy books, sometimes it is on a ring.
And a lot of the time it is like any of the, like, lord or governor or whatever, like someone in power, they have it as a ring so that they can just, while they're signing stuff, it's like sign it, wax, and then just put your finger down.
He's like, do you know who I am? I mean, yeah, did you learn who I was? She also just says, like, oh, I could just tell your companions that you're out for a year and then bury you in the backyard, bitch. And no one will know. She does say that since Rolf has seen her face that she should kill him, but she is sparing him, which it seems like this seems to be the first person outside of the Assassin's Guild that has seen her.
Yeah.
Which is a big first for her.
Mm-hmm.
Though I will say at the kind of like end of this saga, it's interesting that he says, why go to so much trouble for slaves? Again, it's weird. I don't find Ralph as a bad person. He is a terrible human being for doing this, but I feel like he's been in it for so long that again, he's like, yeah, why would you do this for people that you don't know? Or like slaves or whatever. She's like, bro, if we don't fight for them, who's gonna?
If you don't fight the people who can't fight for themselves, then, they can't fight for themselves.
I mean, again, since she works in such a profession that is not very saviory, it's very much the opposite. It's interesting that she has such a moral high ground about this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And so not only does she say that if she threatens him wholeheartedly, she's like, no matter where, when, what, if Selena hears that Rolf is slave trading again, she will kill him. I will be back.
Better believe that she will stick to that.
I beat your ass a 16-year-old. How do you think I'm going to be in a few years? It's like, you do not want to run across me.
Right.
So then, of course, he's like, if you ever step in my territory again, your life will be forfeit.
Threat for a threat.
Okay, so I guess if we see each other again, we're killing each other. Got it.
Well, technically, he's only dying if he sells slaves again.
Versus if he sees her. Well, technically, it had to be on his soil.
That's true.
But words are specific, even though Fae aren't involved.
And there's no magic right now.
Right. I love the comedy of just like, he's like, anything else? She's like, actually, yeah, ship would be nice to get out of here. So, of course, without many options, Ralph signs, stamps, hands the documents to Selena, and then literally pressure points him to fucking get knocked out again. Ralph sucks.
I almost feel bad for him if he wasn't a slave trader.
A little bit. Though it's like, wow, damn, you've fallen for this like a couple times now.
Right.
So she does start to look for Sam through the debris. Where she last saw him, there's like a big boulder that's like crushed on stuff. And she tries to, heave it up, but it's too heavy. Of course, as she's like having this I imagine the music in the background. I imagine like this cinematic moment. And then all of a sudden you hear like him talking behind her. For some reason, I don't think that's what's going to move that rock.
I don't think you'll be able to move that rock.
And then, of course, as Selena Sardathian, the only this type of girl would do, she's immediately fucking pissed. She's like, I've been calling for you. Why didn't you tell me? Like,
yeah, I was concerned about you. Don't make me be fucking concerned about you. That's not in my image.
She's like so pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, this was cute as fuck. She said that the twinkle in his eyes of amusement reminded herself that he would always be a better person than her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She just thinks low of herself.
I mean, she does. But also, like, I think anyone would fall for a twinkle of amusement in someone's eye.
And a hot man? Yes, please.
That too.
Please and thank you. So, of course, after that, I mean, looking into his, blue, or he doesn't have blue eyes. I don't know. She hugs him. And literally she says it's been like a while since she's hugged anyone.
Oh, she was so concerned that she dropped her mask for a moment.
Very much so.
Her real mask, not her, like, physical mask.
I guess, like, Ben held her as, like, her sprained ankle she had.
Mm-hmm.
It's like her embracing Sam was different. Like, she wanted to curl into his warmth for one moment. She didn't have to worry about anything or anybody.
Hey, you two should kiss.
They should. Damn. Not yet. I love the again, I don't normally talk about the audiobook, but it was funny the tone that this gave. It made me think about this visually of when he's like, They did it like like Elizabeth Evans did it like, and then she goes very blunt. If you ever tell anyone I'm embracing you, I'll gut you. Very, very
so keep this relationship a secret.
No, we're not talking about this. Please don't. But the fact that he does laugh and doesn't balk at it, he's just like, yeah, I expected you to say that.
He's like, all right, good time's over.
He's like, come on, Sardathian. If you're not done liberating slaves and ruining pirate deals, then let's go home.
Aww.
I don't know if the Assassin's Guild is home, but whatever. Like,
it's a place they live.
Right. I mean, what an amazing first book. That's the end of Pirate Lord Saga, I guess. We'll call them sagas.
Yeah, I think saga fits.
Again, very much like, I kind of loved being thrown into it because I kind of like to learn things as I go instead of like intense lore dumps at some, Yeah. It's a different style, I'll say.
For sure.
And I definitely really did appreciate it. And I like the characters, I liked it. It was like, it was select. It wasn't like throwing us in with a bunch of people. We had Arabin, Ralph, Sam, Selena, and that's, mostly it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we're going to build off that. And I like the fact we're in this limited perspective, like you said, where like there's secrets, there's surprises. We don't know how she feels sometimes or like what she's planning,
It's like keeping us in the dark as well.
And weirdly, I like being kept in the dark, but I need to know eventually.
Right. If it's forever a secret, not so fun.
I'm like, no, I need to know. Next book, please. But did you have any thoughts before I went into our outro?
I'm so happy to be recording again.
I know, this made me feel so happy, even though we're not in person again, like just as...
Yeah. It said we're not in person, but like, we still got it. We still got always talking over each other. That's our thing, but...
Well, that's also could be like a lag thing.
Yeah, maybe a little. But what I wanted to say was I am excited to be going into this series again. And, this series again, as in reading it again, because as we get to talk about this, that means I get to reread and notice things that I didn't notice the first time. Reread as well as, shit. But, but like, I'm excited to get to know all these characters and do a deep dive of all these characters and go into a different world than ACOTAR for a little bit.
It's definitely a little bit more real, definitely a little bit more like we got to take it in different segments because it can be a lot to talk about. I mean, literally the book starts out by talking about slaves. It's like, all right, okay, we know what we're getting into, I guess.
There's going to be a lot more real topics. I mean, not that ACOTAR didn't have real topics, but that one was more sugar-coated versus this is like, it's fairly blunt. I mean, like you said, it starts right away with slaves and, they're stripped naked of clothes and human rights. And, and it's like, if that's the start of it, we're only going to get even more realistic slaps in the face, basically, and topics.
And also, again, in this world we have now, God damn it. I can only talk about this through a fantasy lens.
Exactly.
On a podcast. So, I mean, I'm excited to go on this journey with you guys. I know I'm excited to talk more about, and especially like the spoilers and whatnot. And I'm really going to love that. So, yes, thank you all for staying this long and for being with us for our first episode back in season 6. Dear God, season 6.
Sad that there's no graphic audio section for us to do.
I know. Eventually, when the graphic audio does come out, we'll have a live stream or do some video on it.
Yeah.
For fucking sure. Though they're not starting with the Assassin's Blade, which kind of annoys me, but it's okay. So yeah, next we will be going into The Assassin and the Healer, the next novella in this book. And so yeah, so I did want to, before we officially say goodbye, I wanted to just give some more about our sponsor for today, Tona Activewear. So the couple things I just wanted to re-mention is that, again, it was founded by the Lululemon designer, offering premium leggings, especially for girls who gym. The leggings were inspired by competitive athletes. The leggings are designed for women who train hard and want to look good. Again, especially for people like us who are not necessarily like, we're not training for anything, but it's just definitely comfort over, when walking and stuff.
And they look good.
And they look good. Again, what did it say like earlier? A bra for your butt or whatever?
Yeah, a bra for your butt.
A push-up specifically. And then, of course, that there's moisture wicking fabrics, keeping it dry and comfortable through the workout, which I will say that's something kind of important. Not kind of important, a lot of important for us.
Very much so.
Plus
especially
size girls.
Because moisture can make even more chafing.
Right. So yes, I will have the link in the description. It's TFBW, Twin Flames Between Worlds Podcast, shortened as the promo code, and it'll be 16% off any deal.
TFBW Podcast. Right.
Yes, TFBW. And yeah, so I did, I guess, like some housekeeping things. Sounds weird, but okay. So Liesl is now adding our archive from season 1 to YouTube. So please be on the lookout for that. With our faces, yes. So she will be uploading those every Monday. And again, our schedule will go back to it being on Tuesdays. And again, with all the work we're doing now, it's we're gonna try super extra hard to be on schedule with everything. And again, I did officially shut down the Patreon because I really want to revamp it and I want to try other avenues and to give you guys the best content we are possible, and also just to celebrate y'all because you guys make this thing go round for sure. sure.
You're the reason, like, that gives us motivation to continue posting. And, you know, we love interacting with you on Discord and Instagram and basically everywhere we are. And honestly, you guys have been so freaking patient with us these past 3 months that we've been transitioning in between seasons. And so I also, I mean, I know we both want to thank you, but I want to thank you guys for sticking with us and being so patient for us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have many people have like texted, oh my God, you guys are back. And I'm like, oh my God, it fills my heart so much that you guys love us so much and that you want to hear our thoughts, especially about this series. So I am so psyched. We will see you guys all in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, guys.
Bye.